and welcome back to Xpwaste, where it's been damn near a year, and I don't think I've gained a single level in herb lore, smithing, or rune crafting. Hi, I'm Oxie.
And I'm Michael. If this is your first time tuning into Xpwaste, thank you so much. Welcome to the show. We're an old school RuneScape podcast. We will talk about what's happening in the game, talk about different updates, talk about random kind of things related to old school RuneScape. We may even talk about RuneScape 3. That's bound to happen, potentially. And we'll get off on tangents. That's also going to happen. So
That's a guarantee.
buckle up.
RS3 is not a guarantee.
Yeah.
But the tangents definitely are.
So anyway, if you're not new around here, welcome back, like Oxy said. I hope you're all doing so well this holiday season. That's not scripted. I don't know. I make it kind of sound scripted, but definitely not. Definitely not. I've just been saying it for like over the last year.
I mean, it's a good prompt though. This episode comes out on like December 22nd.
That's true.
So like it's the holiday seasons. We're thick into Hanukkah at this point. Christmas is right around the corner, you know, New Year's Eve, which I recently learned, and I don't know why I didn't think that this made sense before. New Year's Eve is like the largest international holiday in the world.
Yeah.
People, like, everybody goes crazy for New Year's. I don't know why that just never connected. I was like, yeah, well, Christmas makes sense, but not everyone celebrates Christmas. So
Yeah.
but it's probably still the biggest. It's New Year's Eve and I'm an idiot. Like so
American
it's
brain,
holiday
go
time,
burr.
baby. Yeah, American brain go burr. That's exactly what it is. But
Well, if you aren't sitting down cozy with a hot chocolate, snuggling your favorite quilt or blanket, now's the time to do that. We'll wait for you. Okay, now we're ready to go. Oxy, how are you?
I'm good. I know. So before we recorded, we had a little pre-meeting yesterday, and Michael said, I think in order to prevent this episode from being 4 hours long, we have to keep the "How are you doing?" brief. So that's what we're gonna do this week. We're gonna keep the "How you're doing," how you doing. We're gonna keep that brief. It's been a good week. 2 weeks. It's been good. Yeah, 2 weeks. Good God. The Winter Summit happened, obviously, which is unsurprising that we're going to talk about today a little bit. I have been enjoying the post-Cape life. I got my frog transmog for Jad.
Ooh.
So I've been going everywhere with the frog, taking it to raids, doing skilling with it. Now that you don't have to risk missing a skilling pet, I can take him everywhere.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of working on goals for 2023, but more importantly, I've been kind of honing in the goals I had for this year and setting myself some realistic standards of how I'm going to finish out the year. I think the only goals I have left, I have to hit some KC goals. I hit my expert mode TOA goal this year of 35, but I think I'm probably going to get 50 by the time the year's over, just with the amount that we've been sending. We've been doing a lot of 350s, and I've actually dipped my toes into 400s a little bit. It's sweaty and gross.
Yeah.
But no, I got to get 2 more levels in Hunter to get base 85s. And then, yeah, we're just hanging out. I kind of want to push 99 Slayer for the end of the year. It's just a matter of doing Slayer, you know?
Yeah.
And it's December 18th, so it's very possible I don't get it in 12 days. But on New Year's Eve, I kind of want to do a little clue casket opening, loot tab selling, 99 Slayer popping, party. Just as I don't have plans for New Year's. My family is all busy, and then the IRL friends I have are either going to be out of town or working or whatever. So I'm going to be celebrating the good old, just 6 Jads, the old 6 New Year in Discord with folks, because we've got it's the folks in Norway and the Netherlands and shit, and then there's the far Western Europe, France, Belgium, and then there's England. Then we get a couple hours of a break, and then Eastern Standard Time, Central Mountain, West Coast, and then it's all. So we have a bunch of New Year's Eve. It's a night of
rolling New Year's party.
Yeah, it's a rolling New Year's party. So it's just a night of degeneracy and champagne, and last year we played matchmaking Halo and shit, and this year it's gonna be fun. So I've just been making I don't want to say preparations, because I don't really have a ton of expectations in any regard for it, but I'm just I'm stacking clue caskets, just having fun. I'm currently fishing. Definitely not going to get 99 fishing by the end of the year unless I drop everything and start 3-ticking, which
Who wants to do that?
So yeah, that's been my week. Michael, what have you been up to?
I have been up to a lot of different things. So still playing Minecraft occasionally, not as heavily as I was before. Like 2 weeks ago, I think I was playing like a couple hours every day. That's has slowed down, but I recently got back on the group Iron Man. We had a little talk in our group Iron Man chat, and it's like we want to bring everyone back to the game, and what better way to do that than to play the account that we all can help each other on, the group Iron Man. And it's very, very easy to do that for me while I'm playing on my main, because like the goals I have, there are certain goals that I have for my main account that I can just like have a second RuneLight window open for. So cooking, very, very easy. I can just do that while I play.
Michael's setup for the last probably like week or so has been 2 evenly sized windows. The one on if you're looking at the screen, the one on your right hand side has been his main account, where he's been like one ticking sharks and karamblons for like days at this point, and the other one is his Iron Man account where he's playing on, and if he's not doing something separate, we've been doloing Soul Wars. Right?
I can get into that. So I've been playing the group Iron Man, and then the master plan is what I'm calling it. The master plan for us right now has been Oxie get to 73 fletching. TMD has already done his part of the plan, which was just degenerate fish for days and weeks and weeks. So he got us like 900 something onyx bolt tips, which on their own don't sell or alch for that much. But when you add them to rune bolts, they alch for like 9k each or something crazy. So he has like 900. Oxley got 73 fletching. My role in this was to get the runite bolts from Soul Wars. So that's been the bulk of what I've been doing the last week, is doloing Soul Wars, which has been an absolute blast is kind of an overstatement, but like to say that it's boring is not true. So like it's been decently fun. That sounds like a good way to describe it, is decently fun. You kind of get in a rhythm. Like I would say the first 5 to 10 games, it felt really clunky. But after that, you kind of just get in a rhythm. You know where to click, you know what the role of each account is. And I can get like 20 to 22 zeal in about 4 to 5 minutes, which is almost what it takes in a main game. Like if you were to play real Soul Wars, I think you cap out at 60 zeal, and the game is 15 minutes long. So it's around that. But that is if you win. If you lose the game, you only get 40 zeal for all of your hard work. So on average, I think you do end up with a little bit more zeal per hour if you're doing the dolo method. But we've already got all the bolts. Master plan is finished. We have 8 million GP worth of bolts to alch, and it feels good to have money on a group Iron Man account, because I think for me that's going straight into construction as much as I can. Like I might just go for 50 and then possibly push for 70 to get Song of the Elves requirements done. But having a house with all of the teleports you could ever want, and all you really need is a house telly, it's going to be nice. So apart from that, I've been cooking, like Oxy said. And the plan now that we're kind of finished with the master plan, the next plan, I guess you would call it, is to get the Soul Wars pet on my group Iron Man account. It's 1 in 400, and I did the unfortunate thing of looking up drop rates. And I got a Dragon Longsword yesterday. Do you know what the drop rate of Dragon Longsword is from a crate of Spoil of War? 1 in 600.
Yikes.
Yeah. Not that I'm saying I could have got the pet, because it's a different drop table. But it's still more rare than the pet. I'm only at 50 Spoils of War, so it's not like I'm in the realm that I can start complaining. But
yes, you can.
Okay, yes, I'll start complaining.
Surely you can start complaining. That's how you get it quicker, honestly.
That's true. I forgot about that. You complain about it, you get the drop. But it's like it's bearable enough that I think that the little creator or little destructor is going to be the first pet I get because it's very doable. I was telling somebody last night, I'm like, I could just play the main, like the real version of Soul Wars, but you're locked into that game for 15 minutes. And for me, that's kind of something that would turn me off to I am very against those kinds of things for my play style. Like when I was doing Volcanic Mine, it was terrible to be locked in there for 10 minutes and like you have to finish the game because what if my kid starts crying? Or like what if I need to run in like there's like I just don't want to be tied down to the computer on for a set amount of time and feel like my time would be wasted if you leave. So having it be where it's both of my accounts, and if I leave, it's only affecting me, and it's only 4 minutes that I have to stay kind of engaged with this activity before I can go and do something or take a break. I prefer that. So I'll keep doing it. But the money, the AUX, all that's really nice from Soul Wars. I don't know if it's on this, not on this account's log, but I've made like 4 mil from what the value of the crates are. I don't know if that translates to direct money for me, but you know, I can't sell the coal, I can't sell the essence, I can't sell the diamonds. Like there's just stuff that I can't sell or I can't
we can use the diamonds.
We can definitely use them.
There's also been talk amongst the GIM team about getting into TOA because it's really accessible, which has kind of been the direction of my account because I have a lot of combat focused goals because contrary to everyone else in the group, I'm convinced we're going to need whips because we really don't have a good stab weapon.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Sword is unrealistic at a 1 in 1k drop rate on task when no one has 68 Slayer. Arclight has awful stab stats. Dragon Scimitar does not have good stab stats. The only other like maybe we could get lucky with like a single Zami spear, but that's only one, and then at that point you're running solos.
Yeah.
Mage is gonna suck no matter what, but funny enough, with Mage you can actually butterfly with the Iban's Blast. So I might practice that on the main a little bit and see what butterflying feels like.
Yeah.
With an Iban's Blast. Because I know there's like an animation stall when you're trying to move, so it's gonna be kind of weird to do. But I imagine the motion is gonna be very much the same. Which is gonna be cool. So the money I'm getting from the bolts, I'm gonna buy a cannon with, and I'm gonna. I got a sleigh.
That's smart.
I have like 55 Slayer. So it really doesn't even seem feasible to get to 80 to Wild Pie boost up.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. We're in a really weird spot with like melee weaponry. A lot of like again, I might be overreacting because I've been running 350s and 400s, but like I think we're gonna get bodied at Akka if like RCB's Iban's Blast and like
Dragon
Scimitar on stab. Like I really think Akka is gonna be the downfall of the raid because we can rely on Ruby bolts for Zebek and Wardens. Baba and Kefri are pretty free. They're almost no damage rooms depending on how you run them.
And we'll have the Karis, and that's pretty good for low invocation.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Karis Partisan might be our weapon of choice.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, honestly, the Karis Partisan might be.
Because it's free from the quest.
Yikes, like, that's gotta be be a Karis Partisan. I think I'm still gonna have combat centric goals because I got my like Berserker ring, and I don't know if either like anyone else has one on the team. So like, I don't know. I still want to slay and do combat diaries. So like, my group Iron Man's goal is to kill. But
didn't you say you
Slayer
want to try and get medium combat diaries done too?
Yeah, for Barrows, but Slayer's boring as sin, so I'm really trying to find a way to like just power through because God, it's hard. But
I feel that.
But yeah,
I think like combat is going to be necessary, and it's not a bad thing. You're on the right track. I wouldn't discourage you from doing that. Now, do you need to do it through Slayer? Maybe not. I mean, Ammonite crabs are not a bad way to get your combat stats up if that's all you're going for, but You know.
It's not just stats because it's like black mask for Slayer tasks, and then I have to have Slayer levels to do certain combat diary tasks. Like I think I need 62 to kill a worm for easies, so I need like 57 or something like that to with a boost. And then I think Brutal Black Dragons are 77, and that's a medium combat task.
Wow.
So I might have to boost from 72.
My goodness.
So it's probably going to be Slayer centric for the medium diaries, and then like there's a lot of good things that come from Slayer, you know.
Yeah. At that point, gargoyles print money.
Yeah, gargoyles are good. Karasks are all right, you know.
Oh, you wouldn't have gargoyles just yet if you're boosting. Sorry, it's 75 for gargoyles. Karasks,
yeah, I mean,
Karasks are really good for Iron Man though.
I mean, but if I want to push for abyssal demons, I'll have to get at least 80.
That's true.
And that's just gonna be, God, it's gonna suck, Michael. It's gonna be so bad.
Luckily, though, dude, there's no time limit. There's no time frame we put on ourselves. This is just we're playing the account. So like, it's not
truly,
like
yeah.
By the end of the year, we're gonna send a TOA because like I still have to get all the quests done.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have the requirements to do Beneath Cursed Sands, but like I don't have a rune pouch, so I have to do LMS again for a rune pouch.
Yeah.
So that's fun. So,
but like Oxie said in the beginning, try to keep this part short. So anything else?
We can and will talk about this forever.
Yeah. We're verging on like how long we normally talk about it anyway, but
not quite. We got a little. We still got a good 5 or so minutes that we're gonna cut out. You know, surely we're gonna shave this PB down.
That's true.
I have, because you mentioned Minecraft. I have left the main area and gone about 8,000 blocks away to like start Minecraft over, and then Arionyx opened up an Ark server that I'm gonna jump on after this recording is over, actually. So if you have Ark on Steam, Michael, you should swing on over to that IP and we can get a big tribe and Ark going.
I would have to re-download it, which is not a problem. I mean, internet's go burr here.
It's like a 7-hour download for like 400 gigs of content. So maybe a little tough.
Maybe
but
not tonight.
You know, yeah, but I'm gonna hop on once we finish up recording for this, because you guys know I love me a little bit of Ark, and Ark with the TNL boys after all these years. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. First ever. So, well, something happened this week. Last week, I don't remember. It happened recently, and that was the Winter Summit. So I think every single person who is listening to my voice in their ears has probably watched it. And if you haven't,
or at the very least, you've heard about some of the stuff that's happened.
Yes. And if you haven't, well, you've come to the right place, because we're about to break it down in the best way we know how. And that is without a plan.
Only talking about some. Yeah, there's no plan. We're only breaking down a few pieces of it, and we're not reading into all the details because we're still not a news podcast. Go check out the Wilderness podcast. I haven't listened recently, but I would imagine that they have a bitchin' review of the Winter Summit, as they are like the creme de la creme of news podcasts for this game. But Michael and I are some opinionated motherfuckers, so you know we're gonna be chatting about what has and has not been talked about in the summit.
Indeed, we are. And I told Oxie yesterday during an impromptu meeting that it might get a little heated for me today, because there are some things that people have said on Reddit that just grind my gears. And I'm going to try and keep it level-headed, because you guys deserve to... I mean, you deserve to have a wide range of opinions, but like, you didn't tune in today to hear me complain. So I'm going to try and keep it on the lighter side of my true feelings. If you want to know what I feel about all of this, maybe just join our Discord. If you see me in VC, I don't mind talking about it there. But we're going to go in order, I think, right?
As a resident therapist, expressing your true emotions is very important.
I agree.
So I want Michael to go off the fucking chain like he has in private VCs about some of his opinions on some of these things, because it's passionate content. It's what the viewers come here for, is the passion.
But I also don't want to alienate
and the good
people.
looks.
Yeah. dashing good looks. I want to alienate people from like it. We don't like, okay, I'm talking to the listener, the viewer. We don't personally know each other unless you've been in our Discord, and we do know each other. We don't know each other. And for me to like personally affect you from just like I'm not even with you right now and you can't defend yourself. Like, I'm not going to call people out is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to call people stupid. I'm not going to do any of that. I wouldn't even say I want to. It's just how I feel sometimes. It's like, we can get into it, but we could start from like the most recent and go to whatever they have planned for later in the year. Secrets of the North. Any opinions on that? That's the newest quest that's going to come out in like 2 or 3 weeks.
It's a new boss to get ranked on the high scores for.
Yes.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
You guys know I love a little bit of lore and a little bit of story. And this, God, what did they say it was? It was like a sequel to Devious Minds and like, what's that? Oh God, it's the stupid one with the demon. It's really low level. It gives thieving XP. I can't think of the name. I really can't think of the name.
As a demon, it gives thieving
Hazel
XP.
Cult. That's what it's called. Hazel Cult. It's like a sequel to those, which like those are old quests that like never got any sort of like continuation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. We're going to like all brand new areas, which they've been doing, which I'm really excited about. Obviously excited because it ties into the other big quests they talked about, which we'll get to. But I don't know. I'm excited to learn a new boss. It's a solo boss, but that's good and bad, I suppose, because maybe it'll look awesome and I'll have another pet that I want to hunt in 2023.
Oh,
but
I didn't even think about that. You think they're gonna have a pet?
Bro, there's no way they don't have a pet. There's no way they have a solo quest boss that is probably going to be on the high scores that doesn't have a pet. I think there are so few exceptions to bosses without pets. You figure we've got Barrows, Bryophyta, Chaos. Well, no, Chaos Fanatic has a pet technically. So Barrows, Bryophyta, both the archaeologists. God, who else? Does Mimic have a pet?
No.
Do we count Bloodhound as a Mimic pet?
No, that's a clue pet. But honestly, they should release a Mimic pet.
So Mimic, Obor, that's it. Even like Guardians of the Rift and like Soul Wars and shit has pets. So there's like 5 bosses on the high scores right now that don't have pets. Out of like the probably 40 or something that are on there. I would be shocked if they didn't have a pet for the new boss.
Well, I hope it looks cool. That's all that I really care about when a new pet comes out is like, does it look cool? Because if it's like Kraken, I'm gonna pass on it. But if it's like the Tombs of a Mascot boss, chef's kiss on that, dude. That's one of my favorite new pets.
I'm gonna imagine it looks more akin to TOA. Like their animation has been stellar with new content that's come out, even for like content that nobody really wants to do. Nightmare, for example, beautiful animations. Absolutely just like crisp, smooth, even when they're meant to look blocky, they do it really well.
Yeah.
Like the range attack is just really like, it's quick, it's fluid. It's blocky on purpose, but it doesn't look like the RuneScape casting, like blocky, It looks like, I don't know. So
fluid.
I'm excited for what the new boss is going to look like. Though we know absolutely nothing about it. There's obvious anxieties of like, I hope it's not a botted money printer where like all the uniques hit the bin in the first week.
Yeah.
And I really hope it's not like Vorkath where it has a collection log unique drop table, but every drop is like 1 in 7,000 or something like that.
So bad.
There's
people who go thousands of kills without seeing a single unique from Vorkath. Just a single unique. And I don't think it's balanced very well. I don't.
I think it's okay because of how much money Vorkath drops you. If Vorkath dropped like nightmare money, that would be the worst boss in the game. Because the uniques would be just terrible drop rates.
Right.
Like 1 in 5k for a Visage or whatever the drop rate is. I don't actually know.
Yeah.
And you're getting like 11 bass as a drop. It'd be horrible. Horrible.
Wouldn't like that, no. Are you talking about Nightmare?
No, yeah. Nightmare has an awful drop. It's like God Wars. where you lose money unless you get an item. Then you make good money relative to the content that you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They added, or they're going to add an upgrade to the Imbued Heart with this quest. And once that was announced, Imbued Hearts jumped up almost to like 60 mil in a single day. There were some selling for 60 mil. It's like settled down now to closer to 50, but they are
42
expensive.
right now.
Oh, it's 42? Okay.
Yeah.
They're expensive. Like before that announcement, I think Imbued Hearts were like 28 to 30 mil, maybe. So anybody who had one, like an extra one, I hope you sold it off, made yourself some money. Oxy's going to get on to me for this, but I sold mine. I think that they're probably going to go back down once the quest comes out, and I wasn't using it. So I'm like, yes, I will profit off of this. Why not?
I mean, I'm considering selling mine.
Oh, really?
I don't do... Well, I'm not going to get too much into it because I know we're going to talk about it last week, but like, or next week rather, but like, I want a shadow, but it seems like a waste to not have Ancestral without with a shadow. Just like it seems like a waste at this point to have a Twisted Bow without Missouri, which is me being an elitist, overdramatic bitch. I understand that. Like, a Twisted Bow with Blessed D'hide is still a fucking Twisted Bow. Like, it's still gonna do the job. But max hits go burr. You know what I'm saying? So, for 2023, a little look into next week's episode, some of my big gear goals are both of those, like, Grandmaster tier weapons. And I'm considering selling the heart and like the Kodai for Ancestral, because now that I have an Infernal Cape, I genuinely don't need a Kodai wand.
Yeah.
I didn't need a Kodai wand before I had an Infernal Cape with the rune pouch. But because I didn't buy Eldritch and didn't cash in on what would have been a 270 mil profit if I just bought the Eldritch when it was half the price of the Kodai, had I listened to my friends, sold my Kodai, bought the Eldritch, that bitch is like, I want to see how much it is right now. Eldritch is 284.
Oh my gosh.
It capped out at like 340 when I got my cape. It was ridiculous. So I kind of want to buy Ancestral. So I'm considering pitching the Kodai and pitching the heart. But also, depending on how accessible this upgrade is, who knows? Maybe I will save it and have the upgraded version of the Imbued Heart, which might be more money. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's insane. That is insane. Like the jump. Like, right. So it's like, how much did you say it was? 50 mil? 60 mil?
God,
maybe?
It was like 45 mil before TOA. Because it was useless, right? Because you needed that third slot, or you needed that third slot in your rune pouch for soul runes, so you can have blood barrage when doing ancient magic content. So you could have blood and ice with Kodai.
Wow.
But then they released the thread for the rune pouch expansion, and yikes.
Boom. Skyrocket.
Kodai hit the bin and Eldritch went to the moon.
Wow.
Like, it was...
I bought a Kodai, and I think I may have lost a couple mil on it, but I used it a lot for Slayer, which I'm not ashamed of. I used it for barrage and bursting tasks, which is great. I even have the pouch too, so it's like I was just doing it for the magic damage or whatever it gives.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. I'm just, I'm between two sides about it, but any other points on Secrets of the North? That's going to come out on January 11th.
January 11th.
We actually have a release date for that one.
It's very soon, and I will probably do it like the day of after I get off work. I'll probably try and get it done without a guide, just because that anytime a new boss comes out, those drops are juicy. So you never really know. Like, you could get lucky with a 2 or 3 KC drop and then make some money day one. So I think I have the skill set to be able to do it. I mean, we know nothing, right? Nothing has come out to indicate whether or not anybody can do it, but I think I have the skill set to be able to do a quest boss. This isn't a Grandmaster quest, is it? No. So yeah. So like, if I can kill Vorkath,
I would imagine
we're good.
like I'm gonna put it again. They're comparing it to like quest boss Vorkath, how the quest version will be weaker than the normal version.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's gonna be Vorkath difficult necessarily.
Mm.
So I don't know what to expect because DS2 is a Grandmaster quest. So I don't know if it's gonna be like maybe like that Scarab Lord thing from Beneath Cursed Sands, which
I feel like
everyone
that's
hated.
easy,
That
though.
Scarab Priest.
Yeah.
Well, like I don't know. It's not supposed to be like the hardest quest in the world. So I would imagine the boss is not the hardest thing in the world. Which you're right is it's a good reason to like get the quest done early, learn the boss because by the next day, the uniques are gonna have halved.
Yeah.
Because everyone has mastered this game to a point where like they're gonna figure the boss out in the first week.
Yeah.
Maybe even the first couple of days. You know?
Yeah.
So
do we think what, like mid game type? Like, okay, Sarachnis is not that hard, but it could be considered.
I would anticipate Zulrah level difficulty.
Okay. Because it has uniques, which useful uniques rather. So they're not going to make it. I hope they wouldn't make it like Giant Mole level easy, but
yeah, I would think regular Gauntlet Zulrah level difficulty where like step up from Barrows and DKs, not Fazani's Nightmare, Theater of Blood, Inferno, Insanity, content like that.
Well, the current developers that we have proven that they're competent and they know how to develop a game. So like I trust that it's going to be good. And I trust that it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Speaking of developing a game, they're developing stuff for new official account builds, which I personally don't give a shit about. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Michael because he probably cares more about this than I do.
This is one of the ones where it could get pretty dicey on my opinion here, but like
okay, well I'm gonna put my feet up and grab a thing of popcorn then. What are we talking about here?
So official count builds, honestly, the JMod seemed really pumped about this one. Like watching the summit, was it Aiza and Kieran? They seemed genuinely excited to offer this. Nobody asked for it, right? Nobody said, Jagex, we need official count builds. Nobody asked. Jagex said, this is a game. Let's develop our game. And I think taking that sentence, keeping it in the back of your mind, because that's the overarching frustration that I have with people on Reddit right now, is they're not remembering that these are game developers wanting to develop a game, right? When you have support for a unique account build, an official unique account build, look back to when Iron Man first came out. People like Bodhi, there were probably others. People even before Bodhi were doing unofficial Iron Man mode, where they wouldn't train anybody, they wouldn't use the GE, they bought some from Shot. Like they were playing Iron Man, but they were doing it in a way that like if you fudged the rules, no one would know. No one would know, and it would be on you. So Jagex sees that people are having fun playing the game a certain way, and they say, okay, well, cool. We'll make an official mode for you guys to make it easier. We'll recognize you as somebody who has put in time and dedication, and we'll add a high scores, and we'll do all this, they'll do all this stuff. And they expanded on it. We have hardcore Iron Man, we have ultimate Iron Man, we have regular Iron Man, we have group Iron Man, we have unofficial Iron Man, unranked, whatever. There's so much content that you can play to differentiate yourself as an Iron Man. And if Jagex just said, screw you, keep playing the way you want, we're not going to develop this game, we wouldn't have Iron Man as it is today. So the argument that I'm seeing, Oxie's like, well, I don't see any issue with that. The argument that I'm seeing is people are saying, one, we never asked for this, and two, this devalues my account that I've put thousands of hours into. Wow. So sorry. But did you stop to think that maybe people don't want to spend thousands of hours to play the game? Yes, there are certain metas, there are certain like theory crafted ways that you have developed, this community has developed to play the game in a unique way. But it is a gosh dang toggle. Like no one is forcing these people into opting into making their account that they put thousands of hours into an official account, like a recognized account. They can still play the game how they want to play it. They can still have their tight-knit community of people who spend thousands of hours to have a 10 HP account or a 1 defense account or a skiller with no combat. Like you can still do that unofficially with no restrictions set by Jagex, and you put all the restrictions on yourself. Or we don't have that, and that community is severely gate-kept by time. Because from an outside perspective, this is a video game where maybe, like I said, maybe you don't want to spend 3,000 hours just to set up your account to the point where you can start playing it. And then you have to stress out every single day that you're playing it, because what if you accidentally attack a guard? Or what if you accidentally attack a man in Lumbridge and now your all of your progress is ruined? I don't know. I look at this not with the past in mind of this is devaluing all the time that I have put into my account, all the things that I have done to theorycraft for my account. I'm thinking about this in the sense that this is going to open the door for hundreds, if not thousands of people in the future to play an official account build and have fun. Because at the end of the day, it's a gosh dang video game. And what do you do with video games? You have fun. If you're not having fun, why are you playing?
You're playing RuneScape. No, sorry.
I think that's my opinion. I know I just spat out a lot, but like TLDR, it's a video game. If people want official account builds to have fun to play the game, quit crying because it's not devaluing your achievement. It's just giving somebody else who doesn't want to spend thousands of hours the chance to have fun. The recording booth chat has been going off, and I have not read anything that they've said, but I don't know. Any rebuttal so I can take a drink?
Seth brings up a good point that unofficial account builds are probably going to be more impressive at this point once they release official account builds coming as per the thing early 2023. Interested with why they went with skillers and not pures, because I feel like 1 defense pures or Zerker accounts are a lot more common than skilling pures, like 10 HP, no combat stats.
Mm-hmm. I think,
we've seen probably, God, we'll get into it a little bit later, but we have almost 2,000 people who have been in and out of the Discord. And we have like 1 skiller.
Yeah.
We have like 1. So I mean like 1 person with no combats and like base 80s. Like I just don't see it too much, honestly.
I think that is part of the argument, right? The pro of starting with a skiller build would be that it opens up a world that was previously pretty gate-kept. Not gate-kept in the sense that like people are saying don't make skiller accounts. We don't want you to make a skiller account. Like I said, it just takes time. It takes time to figure things out. Like the stress of only having 82 XP per skill, and there's like 7 or 8 skills that you cannot train and you cannot accidentally train, or you're not level 3 anymore. And that just, nobody cares about a level 4 skiller. So yeah, they're starting with a game mode that not a lot of people play, But that also is a chance for a lot of people to play it because it's going to have high scores for skilling, which would be really sick. We could finally see actual maxed skilling accounts because they'll have a recognized max total level. Yeah, Slayer might not be a viable thing to do, but you'll have every non-combat skill to 99.
Well, they brought up a good point in the stream of like they're locking experience. So that's not to say that you can't do combat, you just won't get XP for it, which means skillers can get to Mauritania, which means Slayer is going to be easy as shit, relatively speaking to what it takes to train Slayer on a skiller.
Yeah.
You know the method for training Slayer on a skiller?
It's lamping, isn't it?
Yes, but you have to like dig through shit at like the Varrock Museum or something to get these little lamps to get a little bit, or you have to like rely on random events or stuff like that.
And now
and
you just do temple
like,
trekking.
Yeah, now you would get temple trekking and it would be a lot easier to do it because you get like 5 or 6 KXP for like the hard temple treks, which are gonna suck for people who can't do combat. But even so, you can stack like 2K XP tomes and hope you get some in Slayer, which like will help train the early levels. Then you can start putting diary lamps into it. You know, there are quests that will award Slayer XP, which will be pretty useful. That you'll be able to do if you can't earn combat. Like, God, what's that? Like Lair of Tarn Razorlore, 5K XP. What's that quest with Spreo and the hog things or whatever?
Porcine of
the
Interest.
Pig one, Porcine of Interest. That's another 5K Slayer XP. So like, if you can do it without gaining combat XP, which you wouldn't have been able to do on an unofficial build, now it's just going to be fun and it's going to be less painful for people to train. So it's going to open up a lot of new metas too.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see if they count Slayer XP as a combat stat, and like that's one of the ones that get locked just off of the basis of like the only way to train this is like not training it, not in the real sense. So if they do include Slayer on the high scores tab, we probably won't see a max Slayer, like a max skiller account for a long time, because they said like you can opt in if your account meets the requirements. Like if you haven't gained more than 82 XP and any of the combat stats, including HP or prayer, then you would technically qualify as a skiller account. But are they going to count Slayer? I don't know. That's
I would think so, because Slayer is technically classified as a support skill along with thieving and agility.
Oh,
I don't want to say, is Hunter a support skill or is Hunter a gathering skill? There's one more support skill. I know
Smithing.
No, smithing's an artisan. I think it's just Slayer, thieving, and agility are the support skills, because construction is artisan, rune crafting is also, I think, artisan. Hunter is gathering.
Are you going off of
fletching is?
Did they have some sort of classification?
Yeah.
In for a league or something? Is that what that was?
Spicy stew classifications.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at you, Oxie.
Yeah. So I think it's listed as a support skill. Let me see. Well, yeah, the spicy stew is divided a little differently between combat, production, resources, and character development.
Oh.
But I think support skill is the actual term. So
I do see, okay, going back to my long rant, I do see both sides of the argument. There's a lot of unknowns right now, and when there is unknown, people tend to freak out, I guess, is a way to put it. Like, people become concerned. And when people are concerned, one of the main things is that their voice is not going to be heard. So they get very vocal. And I think that tends to happen on Reddit, is people tend to get very vocal and to try and like send out a signal of, I'm worried, please hear me. And that's okay. That's a natural human thing. It's fight or flight. When you're worried about something, it's hard to think rationally about, okay, do I trust the devs to make the best decision? Not all the time, but in the past years, I would say more recently, the team that is working on Old School RuneScape is pretty stellar. I wouldn't say there's been a bad update in a long time. I wouldn't even see that there's been many bad updates in general. There's been some that have
R.I.P.
flopped.
the toxic blowpipe.
R.I.P. balancing. But there's been some that have flopped. We've got dead content in the game that
PvP arena.
there's dead content. But that all comes down to, I think, intentions, voting, that kind of stuff. So people are obviously very concerned that they're not going to be heard, their feedback isn't going to be taken into account, and that Jagex is just going to implement something without any consideration. But I think the opposite of that is true. I think that Jagex cares, number one, and I think that they're going to listen and they're going to take into account people's feedback. I haven't really seen Jagex as a company and the developers more specifically. I haven't seen the group of developers try and disrupt a community without getting the community's input. They don't do that. You know how many times they've had meetings with people in the PvP community? A lot. And have they really disrupted the PvP community? No, because they're not into that. So if you're a part of the official account builds, anti-official account builds group, just know I think Jagex is going to do what's best for the community. And that's going to be it's going to be twofold. It's going to be giving people what they want, even though this wasn't asked for. They're going to give people what they want, whether that's doing it or not doing it. And two, they're going to bring a bunch of new people into your community, which is totally fine because it happened with Iron Man. And look at the success of Iron Man. It's brought so many people back to the game. It's resparked so many people's love and interest for this game. And that's not a bad thing. If somebody is sitting on their couch contemplating playing RuneScape and they go through Tutorial Island and they get to the end and they're like, okay, did you want to be a skiller? Did you want to be a one defense pure? Maybe they weren't going to play past the 2 weeks of their bond. But now they have an official account build called a skiller, and they're really motivated, and they're going to stick with it. I think if all of this was for that one person to enjoy this game, I think it'd be worth it. I really do. I'm the kind of person, my personality is like, if all of this was for one person to enjoy the game a little bit better, I think it's worth it. I don't know. I may be totally off on this. I may make a lot of people mad, but at the end of the day, you are entitled to your opinion just as much as I am. And I think that it's going to have a positive outcome. We can move on. Do you have any?
Good, because we got a lot of stuff to get to.
Yeah.
We do. So we're going to rapid fire these next two, maybe even these next three. We'll just see. So next up is Bounty Hunter. We said we weren't going to go through all of them. Apparently we are. As long as I'm going to keep this as brief as possible. As long as this is a fun mini game to play that is not infested with bots and can make me feel like I actually have a chance, I'm here for it. I think that's going to be, they're going to have to put a lot of work in on their end to separate in the lobby or whatever. There's talking about fucking craters. I don't know what any of it means. As long as I don't go up against Otoblock and Torvesta every time I step in a crater, I'm going to be okay with that.
Yeah.
As long as it's fun to play. They're talking about untradeable rewards that do absolutely just ridiculous shit in the arena, and that sounds cool. It sounds like it's going to be fun. As long as I don't have to play against a machine learning bot or someone who's been PKing since 2004. I'm not saying I have to be unkillable, but I don't want to get my shit kicked in every time I want to play Bounty Hunter.
Right.
So if I can enjoy the content, if I think it's fun, I'm all for this. Yeah. I know the rewards aren't going to have as much monetary gain, which kind of sucks, especially for PvPers who want to earn money killing other people.
Yeah.
But bots ruin that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. I think
as long as it's fun,
yeah.
I'm here for it.
My opinion with Bounty Hunter, PvP, and all of that is there's been a sentiment over the last couple of years. Over the years, I actually think since Old School came out, like they did away with PvP in RuneScape 3, people came to OSRs for PvP. The sentiment is PvP equals money. PvP doesn't have to equal money. You can just have a PvP event for the sake of wanting to hone your skills and play the game. I don't know. Like, I think it's silly and a slippery slope.
I would redirect you to the Amir's Arena worlds that currently have. One world has 29 people. One world has 2. One world has 19. Versus the LMS competitive world that currently has almost 1,000 people.
I'm not saying that right now the sentiment is if we have PvP activities, it has to center around people being able to make money. But that to me doesn't seem like a long-term solution. You should be able to have a PvP. Like, what if PvP was about high scores? Like, what if it was about KD? You know, like you play Destiny, like there's plenty of games. I mean, Modern Warfare, like the shooter games that you have, like people aren't playing this game to make money. They're playing because they want to win. They want to win for their team. They want to have a high score. I don't know. I'm not in the PvP community. So like, this is just an outside look into what your problem might be, is that you guys are too focused on PvP equals money when it doesn't have to.
The two issues I have with that, remember we said we were going to keep this brief. The two issues that I don't not like with your opinion necessarily, but like PvP is about money. We have a wipe system in this game for PvP. It's high risk. When you die, you lose basically everything. That's how it's been forever, right? You know as well as I do that I don't like the whole change bad change good. Change is old school, more or less, if you kind of look at it that way. But that's a little bit deeper than like my fire cape is no longer best in slot. We're adding a new skill. Like that's more like we're fundamentally taking the core of this piece of content, which is to make money, and we're trying to change it to something else, right? It's always been about making money because there's never been a high scores. Even the people who make YouTube videos and make actual money PKing with YouTube sponsorships or Twitch streams or whatever, people still want to see it because they have big high risk fights,
right?
For a lot of money,
right?
I
think, they made that point in the recorded through chat. It's like it's not about the money; it's about the risk and the thrill of like potentially losing it.
Yeah. And the other issue with that, if you're comparing it to like modern shooters, let's look at a game like Overwatch that has a competitive MMR. It may not be the best functionally, but compared to RuneScape, it's god tier, right? Where they place you in your ranks, silver, gold, diamond, platinum, whatever it is, grandmaster, onyx. I don't know what the tiers are. But you're ranked based on your performance, and you play against people of your similar rank based on your performance. There are ways to indicate how talented you are at this specific thing. RuneScape has none of that.
Right.
RuneScape has no nameplates. We have a bounty hunter high score that not a lot of people at this point care about or understand. Like I look at that score and it's like bounty hunter, rogue, bounty hunter. What's the other one? One is rogue, one is hunter. I don't know what either one of those mean, and frankly, I don't give a shit. Like the one hat that they added for bounty hunter doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't show any prestige, right? The dead man outfit doesn't show any prestige because I can grind for a dead man outfit, and I suck at LMS, right? I have a golden BGS spec, not because I'm good at LMS, because I put my head down and got 75 points by getting killed 75 games in a row.
Yeah.
Like if there were an infernal cape or a Zuck helm or a max cape of PvP where somebody looked at it and said, oh shit, that person is terrifying. Look at Call of Duty. the Damascus camo. You know when you get a gold gun in Call of Duty, everyone's like, "Oh shit, that's a gold M4," or like, "Oh, that's a platinum SMG or a diamond SMG." Like you've done all the SMGs that are gold now, and then you get Damascus and you have gold for every gun, and it's like, holy shit, this person is incredibly proficient with every single weapon in this game, and they are someone I really shouldn't be fucking with,
right?
Because they have a Damascus camo. Like we're about to get wiped, you know. If when you roll up to somewhere with PvP, if you have a fighter torso and obsidian legs and a Nezi helm, and the guy next to you is in full Torva, a Zuck helm, and an Infernal Cape with a blood scythe, you know, just by looking at him, that person's really fucking good at this game. When you see someone skilling with 37 million cooking XP, for example, you think, God damn, this person's really good at skilling. They're really good at this game. Nothing indicates that for PvP.
Right.
So if we want to make it less about money, we have to create an entire like matchmaking system where people can actually show off their ranks and people can care about it, whether it's nameplates, whether your name shows up a different color in public chat. Well, you know, imagine like you say something. Yeah, exactly. Maybe you say something and instead of yellow text in public chat, it's black text, or it's black text with a red trim. Because you're like the, you know, the moral wreck killer. You have like 7,000 PvP kills or something like that. You know, we need some sort of visible high score, and then we need an item or set of items that is not earnable through points, but is only achieved at a certain rank. You know?
Yeah.
I have a the first season of Halo Infinite, when they released the rank playlist, I made like Diamond 3, Diamond 4, or something like that. And I got an icon. I got a diamond tier icon that I can put on all my weapons. And that's what I put on my weapons as like a sticker.
Yeah.
Because when someone picks up my battle rifle and they see, oh, he's diamond tier, like he's either better than me or he's, I mean, I think diamond is right below onyx. So it's up there, right? Like you look at that, you're like, all right, the person knows how to play. Other than the only argument I could make for an item we have in this game that really is like, holy shit, this person has killed a lot of people, is the LMS 1000 win Victor's Cape. And the amount of people I have seen with that is absolutely slim to none. Because that's the only one you actually have to earn.
Oh, wow.
Through whatever. There's no, even like, look at leagues. Deadman doesn't have a trophy for the winner.
Right.
Leagues has a Dragon Cup.
Right.
They have all sorts of cosmetics that indicate how well you played this. Deadman mode has server problems and a cash prize split among a PvP clan. Like, you want to flex that? Jagex and the PvP community as a whole have to come to a conclusion on if you don't want to just make this about money, which it's always going to be about making in-game money, there has to be like a PvP overhaul.
Yeah.
There has to be a PvP expansion. I think, like I said, I'm going to play Bounty Hunter if it's fun, but I think if you want to expand it beyond let's make money and have a good time, you need to add so much more to this game.
Yeah. Okay. I think it is time to move on. I agree with everything you said. We have a lot of time between...
But we do not have time to discuss.
Luckily, and this is a cool part. So, like, all of the stuff we're talking about today, it's not going to happen tomorrow. Like, it's happening next year.
Yeah.
So we've got early spring,
Bounty Hunters,
summer, like
spring 23.
All of this stuff, we have time to potentially devote a full episode to it. This is not the last time you guys are going to hear our thoughts on these things. So we will definitely need to rapid fire forestry. I'm excited about it. It's going to completely change the way we think about woodcutting, which is amazing because, like, chop tree, get log. There you go, have it. Great skill, Jagex. Now you have different random events that will come up. You have different world events that will happen with forestry coming mid 2023. I'm excited about that. Desert Treasure, summer of 2023. Again, we'll likely have an entire episode dedicated to these things, but it is a sequel to one of the most iconic quests in RuneScape.
Especially when we learn about the new prayer book.
Yes.
Which, for the love of God, this is going to be a great transition into the final topic for the summit.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the content creator who pushes my opinion. If you're going to vote no for a prayer book, you better have a good goddamn reason.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You better have a good reason for voting no for the prayer book when that poll comes out. I think a lot of people are going to be concerned because they're not going to have protection prayers. I think they're going to have a variation of protection prayers that don't protect as much, where you'll have to take more food. You're sacrificing health for more DPS. So in addition to like skilling prayers, which we think would be a cool addition, we were chatting about this after the summit a little bit. Imagine an overhead prayer that blanket protects against all three styles, but only at like 50%. So instead of getting hit instead of getting hit like an 80 by a major in the Inferno, its max hit becomes a 40. But the trade-off is now there is a version of Augury that gives you a 20% magic damage increase. So you become just cracked with a Shadow and Max Mage. But you're eating a lot more.
Yeah.
You're brewing a lot more. Right?
It's a trade-off.
But when you smell, like when you hit. Like hitting hundreds in TOA type shit, but eating a lot more. I think the concern is new prayer book bad because every single piece of particularly PVM content is based around those three protection prayers.
Yep.
So
I think it's too early to make a dedicated opinion to say yes or no. I want this in the game because, like you said, we haven't even been given a single option of what could be on this new prayer book. But to say no because you're scared it's going to change the game too much is kind of short-sighted, because this game has to change. It cannot stay the same. I can give you a list of private servers.
Save the smoke, Michael. We got another. The smoke is better served on the next topic.
I guess
Desert Treasure 2 is also going to bring 4 new bosses for the high scores, which are all going to be repeatable after the quest. So it's going to be even more content we get to learn next summer. So I will say overall, compared to especially a year like 2021, right, where we didn't get shit. Remember, we got like Fazani's Nightmare, Temporos, nothing, Guardians of the Rift. Like that was no, that was this year.
That was this year.
We like 2021 was so bad for a content release schedule. 2022 is improving. 2023 is going to be awesome.
Yeah,
because we have confirmed 5 new bosses to fight, in addition to whatever other content they plan on adding. Because everyone's always saying there's going to be, quote unquote, blue Infernal Cape, where they add a more difficult challenge than the Inferno. An Infernal Cape upgrade, something like that. Who knows?
Because the stuff that they announced at the summit is not the only things they're doing for the year.
Exactly. This only goes until summer, so like June, July, August, maybe. In addition to all the Wilderness boss reworks and the Wilderness stuff. So we're going to get a lot of content in 2022. And overall, with the 5 pieces that they are adding to the game, in addition to server maintenance and all this other stuff, 2023 is looking like a very good year for OSRS. Now, we are an hour and 7 minutes into recording, and we still have to cover the Xpwaste year in review like we always do at the end of the year. So this episode might be a long one. So as I always say, strap in and strap on, because it's time that Michael and I talk about the newest confirmed poll for old school RuneScape. Folks, we're getting a new skill.
Hell yeah.
Like, we're getting a new skill. It's coming, but a lot of things there's a lot of turbulence around the new skill. Why don't you, Michael, our resident maxer, kick us off with your thoughts on the new skill?
As a maxed player, I've been maxed for about a month. So my opinion and my voice in the maxed community is not very strong to say like, okay, I have friends that have been maxed for like 5 years. whatever. I'm still maxed. I have a max tape on my back, is what I'm trying to say. I'm excited. You guys know me pretty well. I never really shy away from the idea of new content. So from the get-go, from the second they said it, they said the new poll is live in the game right now. I turned my ass around and I voted yes.
I was like the first 900 people to vote in that poll.
Oh, I didn't
because I was
check.
online. I ran away from the fishing spot that I'm at right now in Chambers, ran up to the booth, was like, "Yep," and then came right back to fishing.
I didn't check.
As soon as they said the poll is live,
Damn.
I went right to that.
I'm in the Myths Guild right now. I was cooking in the Myths Guild when that poll went live, and I can like the polling booth is literally right behind me. So I voted yes, and I think that to say it got dicey is not really my thoughts. It felt dicey because the minority in this was very vocal. And by vocal, I mean like chats in Discord, browsing Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, all of the channels where there's usually like chatter about updates. The vocal minority was strong in their disdain and their lack of wanting a new skill, I guess, to put it uneloquently. I can talk today, I promise.
Got a funny way of showing it.
It passed with 80% yes. 80% yes. So even if Jagex had not lowered the threshold, and a lot of people thought that they lowered the threshold for this very poll, even if they had not lowered the threshold, we still would have gotten a new skill. Now, I'm excited. I'm also very nervous for what the repercussions of the 20% of people who didn't vote yes, what is that going to look like? Are we going to get a lot of like grief votes? Are we going to get a lot of people just voting no because principle? It's hard to say. With the fact that we got 80% yes, it gives me a tinge of hope to say like we can all rally around that yes vote and pick something. But now you have to split 150,000 people into different groups of I want sailing, I want artisan, I want divination, I want dungeoneering, now everybody's voices are split. The yes vote was the unifying voice. The I want this is now going to be what's very hard for our silly little community of RuneScape players to just agree. I think. I don't know. We could look at this optimistically and say that Jagex is going to give us a stellar lineup of skills and that the choice will be very clear, but we don't know because I think they're still processing what that means as a development team, that they've been given the green light to put a new skill in old school RuneScape after 10 years. That's huge.
Yeah. I mean, if I can offer any consolation for the point about the negative voices, do you remember when Group Iron Man mode wasn't supposed to pass?
Yeah.
Because there was actually concern it wasn't going to?
Yeah.
Do you remember when that became the highest voted poll and blew all the negative votes out of the water? What's the poll that is now the most voted in poll in old school RuneScape's history?
This one.
190,000 plus people voted. I think your point about the vocal minority is very true, even in the sense of like trying to rag vote things.
Yeah.
I don't think votes are going to get ragged to a point where we never get a new skill. But you took the words right out of my mouth. I am extremely optimistic in Jagex's ability to produce new content. Understand that sounds like bootlick and ass kissing. That's not the point here, because there's a lot of pieces of content that they make that I don't like, but it's well made. Fazani's Nightmare is an example of a challenging solo boss that is well made, well designed, and rewarding for people who can do it well. I suck balls at Fazani's Nightmare and don't want to do it because I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right? But I can still recognize that it's good. they're going to create a good piece of content, right? The issue is RuneScape players are really good at determining what is not good. We are really good at coming to a consensus about things that we don't like, especially when they're overwhelmingly bad, right? Some things, some people don't like the way the Grandmaster of Vernic looks, which is a graphical nitpick that like not a whole lot of people are vocal about.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't like botting problems. A lot of people don't like server issues.
A lot of people don't like coin pouches.
A lot of, well, but that's not to say that they're not aware of that, right?
Oh yeah.
When there is something objectively bad about old school RuneScape, the CMs and the JMods, they know, right? They know, and they can start to take steps, whether we hear about it or not. I would not be shocked if in 2023 they release some sort of QOL poll 79, poll 81, whatever it is, that removes coin pouches for some accounts. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Because the community hates them, right? We're really good at finding things that we hate, and we hate them. We hated rune crafting. We got Guardians of the Rift. Fire making was stupid. We got Wintertod. We got sick of training fishing. We got Temporos. Like, we're good at that. Having everyone agree, that's going to suck.
Yeah.
Because you are absolutely right. The millions of voices, or not millions, whatever, it's going to feel like millions of voices, all shouting something different, like we're at the Tower of Babel, between essentially the big four right now, I think, are Artisans, Sailing, Dungeoneering, and Bard are the big four. I still think Summoning has absolutely zero chance to show up. Divination, don't even really know what it is, and I've heard that Invention is so inherently RS3 that it wouldn't work because it's all based around EOC.
Yeah. I heard archaeology might have a chance.
Archaeology might be fun.
Dinosaurs go burn.
That is true. We could get dinosaur content, even though that's
Fossil
technically
Island.
paleontology.
Hello.
It's technically paleontology.
Oh, okay.
But that's semantics. We don't really care. I mean, it's weird. I am extremely optimistic about the concept of a new skill. Very excited for it. Been looking forward to it ever since there was like a potential new skill announced, right? I am dreading the development process because this winter 2017 2.0 shit that I think is about to happen is going to suck.
Yeah.
Because now we have to think of a skill that we want. Then we have to think of what effectively has to be every little nitpicky training method detail unlocked, because like the community's up in arms about not knowing what a new quest is going to be. And people hate quests. You think a new skill is going to be able to go unchecked without giving detail? People are going to be losing their minds. I am not optimistic for the development process of this skill, and I'm not looking forward to how much the community is going to have to be involved, because this is the best gaming community I have ever been a part of. We are going to slow this process down so much that it's going to be nauseating.
You could be maxed by the time this new skill comes.
Genuinely, you could have a max cape before the new skill gets released.
Yeah.
Like, that is how long. I'm not looking forward to how long it's going to take, because I don't know who I was talking to yesterday. And I apologize. I don't know who it was last night in VC. Somebody brought up the point that 190,000 people voted for this poll. We're going to get like a quarter of those people who come back and vote on the subsequential polls that follow. Whatever that word is, sequential, whatever it is. All the polls that follow, not going to have nearly as much turnout. So then how are we really going to know? Because people are still going to bitch and complain. Again, it's an incredibly pessimistic way to look at something that I am overall very excited for, because this, to me, this kind of feels like a reconstructive surgery, but it doesn't feel like I've been injured. Who knows? Maybe it's like a transplant surgery, right? Like my liver got stale, or whatever livers do, and they're giving me a new one. At the end of the day, the end product of a new liver gonna be great.
Yeah.
but there's no anesthesia left in the hospital. And I have to be awake for the transplant.
Oh, no.
And it's going to take 8 hours. That is what the process of like, new skill, let's fucking go, to the new skills in the game, let's fucking go. That in between,
yeah.
It's going to be awful.
Oh.
I am excited to hear what the community has to say, because we have a lot of very creative and very intelligent people in the community who are going to think of great concepts. Michael and I talked about it yesterday. We're like, what if we pitch an idea for a new skill? We're content creators. We sat for 30 seconds and we're like, yeah, we got nothing. F that. We're going on to something else, right? Because like we don't have that same kind of creativity that the people who created the bard skill. That's in depth, dude. That took months probably to work on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of potential for people to come up with good things. But there's also so much potential for people to just be people about it and slow it down, and it's gonna be just so bad.
I think the main thing that can slow this down and will slow this down is people having in the back of their minds with every suggestion just being like, this could be a mini game, this could be a skill expansion. It doesn't need to be a skill. Why are you telling me this needs to be a skill? Prime example of that: player-owned farms. We could have like husbandry or animal husbandry or farming 2. Like we could have a skill where you take care
farming
of
2
where you take
farm harder
where you take care of animals and like you run a farm and like you produce like you could breed
raise like dragons
and,
at 99. Yeah,
like that could be a skill, but that also could be a very viable upgrade in skill expansion to farming. So
yeah,
that's I think where
you're right.
Really
I fall into that trap a lot myself. Is that I don't know. That's the issue that I know. I don't know about you, but when we've talked about like, oh, what's a new skill you would put into? People ask us this all the time for the fun question. I haven't the foggiest clue what I would add that can't just be even forestry. I read the concept. I'm like, oh, the new skill is forestry. Oh, it's a wood cutting expansion.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense that it's not its own skill. Because it probably could be, but it also is probably going to work great as a mini game.
Yeah, yeah,
or like a skill expansion. So
yeah, it's going to be hard, and
it has to be
epic,
like wild, and it has to be completely out of left field. Because even somebody said like sailing is just a mini game that you get levels in.
Yeah,
you know. So I feel like there's got to be. Maybe they'll do like a kingdom of miscellaneous skill. That makes sense.
Like government.
Yeah, like Melvor Idol has township. You know, I take a shot every time Oxie talks about Melvor.
Well, listen, dude, we've pitched a skill. It's called merchantry or merchant. Your merchant skill, like you have stalls and you sell stuff in those stalls. Like that in no way is an expansion to anything in this game. Like no current skill. The opposite of that is thieving, where you're taking stuff from stalls.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other games. Like Skyrim has speech, where you can like convince people, intimidate people. You can get better prices for bartering. You can sell for higher. You can buy for lower. Speech is very useful in Skyrim. Unfortunately, the entire speech skill in old school RuneScape is the Ring of Karos. So how do you turn the Ring of Karos into a skill?
Oh god.
So it's things like that, and like other MMOs have the advantage of like, at RS3 is actually getting this. They have different schools of magic you level up. They have alchemy as its own school. They have necromancy, which is coming to RS3 as a new skill that could encompass the Arceus spellbook and summoning and all sorts of stuff. They have it's the Skyrim destruction magic. That is all your offensive skills, right? Maybe we could have an ancient magic skill that is a whole new set of whatever. Unfortunately, that's all clustered under magic.
Yeah.
And it's the pretense of a lot of our skills are very broad. So
yeah,
artisan is nothing more than expansion to every production skill that we have. So it's I don't know.
My one and only gripe with sailing, because sailing has seen a lot of traction. Bodhi made a video about it. Mudkip made a video about it. My one and only gripe with sailing is that is going to take 5 ever to develop, to really make it viable in this game, like he was pointing out different open areas of the map that are just water. Like, you know how long it would take to develop a single area? You know how long it's taken them to fine tune Zaya to the point where it is now? It's going to take a long time. We're talking years of development to make sailing a actually fun and viable skill where it's not just pop down a few islands day of release and suddenly now, you're done having fun at level 30 because they didn't think past with rune crafting. They didn't really think past lava runes being the best rune crafting XP in the game.
No, they did, because they thought death runes were supposed to be the best in the game, and then people found a way to get better and faster XP with teleports and rune pouches and things that are also inherently old school. So like, I think if we look at a lot of the skills that released when they did, Foe made a great tweet. He was like, inherently adding skills is old school RuneScape, because in like the 3 years we had leading up to the 2007 backup, we got Slayer, Farming, Construction, and Hunter. And then just a few months later, we would get Summoning, followed a few years later by Dungeoneering, all pre-EOC.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he brought up a really good point that like adding skills is a RuneScape thing. Like it's what we do if you want to talk way back.
Right. We wouldn't have the 23 skills we have now if they had just taken like a 2006 backup or a 2005 backup. They chose 2007 because it's old school and we have these skills that we have now. You're right. A few months later, bam, Summoning is an old school skill.
Yeah, I mean, it's all sorts of stuff with the backup. Like if you did the backup a week earlier, we wouldn't have Piety. If you did it 2 weeks earlier, we wouldn't have had the Fringe chat. Like there would have been so many things depending on when you add it. Had you done it a year later, God Wars would have been a vanilla addition to the game, like instead of just like an expansion later. So there's a lot of like, I had a point and then I forgot it, unfortunately, what I was originally going to say based on, I'm going to listen back to this episode and be like, God, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I forgot that point. Yeah, I don't know. I've completely drawn a blank. I somehow managed to distract myself. I don't know what happened, but my thought is gone. New skill good, new skill exciting.
Yeah. I think there's
new skill
much more we can say
horrible
related to it. But that again, we have months and months and months, maybe potentially years before that
Winter
day
2017.
2025, it's new like skill for old school.
It's like that Mr. Krabs meme where he's like, give it up for day 15. Like that's good. That's what the new skill is going to feel like, the development process.
I'm excited for it, but again, my expectations are low, which is good. I think low expectations are good at this very moment in time. And then depending on what happens, we can raise our expectations, hopefully. But my question for you, Oxie, is do you want to go into the year in review now or come back after the break?
Well, the one thing I will say, I have very high expectations for the new skill, but I am very negative about how it's going to be developed. Hopefully, I am proven wrong in the development process, and my expectations are not only met, but also exceeded with the new skill. Because, again, they make good content. We're going to get something good, but god damn it, is it going to take a long time. I say we go into it now. Why not? Why not? We'll make this first half a little bit, make it a little bit longer,
Yeah. Okay.
But a thick episode for you guys. It's the last one of the year. We got to go out with a bang.
Let's do it. So, yeah, I think there's nothing else we could say other than what we have just said that could, like, again, we don't know. So now we can say a lot of stuff we do know. Buttery smooth transition. It is the year in review. This is a unofficial tradition that I think now constitutes as a tradition that we do on this show, where at the end of the year, we take a step back and we look at what has happened for specifically this podcast. We could go over the year of updates that happened in RuneScape, but quite frankly, just go back and listen to the episodes. We're going to kick it off the best way we know how with me reading off of notes in my phone. How about that?
An Xpwaste staple.
So if you listen to the year in review last time, we talked a lot about firsts. We talked a lot about like specific milestones that had happened with the show. Kind of doing that now. But more so, I think it's not going to be like, okay, on episode 13, Oxie grew a beard. That was, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, we talked about it yesterday. We have less firsts, but more substantial milestones to talk about. So there are going to be less things to talk about, but they're more impressive. At least we think they are.
It may have felt like many, many moons ago, which technically it is, but it may have felt like a lot longer than what it was.
It's about 350 odd moons ago at this point.
But this year, we debuted the new logo and new intro song. We kind of teased it for the last episode of last year. Like, hey guys, get ready, because January 2022, we're going to have a new look. And I quite frankly love it. I really do.
I really do too. You know what's actually been weird about the new intro?
What's that?
I will hear the in-game version of Dream and be like, that's not right. I think I've listened to our version of the song so many times over this past year that I now think when I hear, because you know me, I play with music on. When I hear Dream, I'm like, that's not correct.
How it goes.
And it's just a second of like, oh, nope, you're the idiot. Yep, that is how it goes.
That is how it goes.
Because it's also, you ever go back to our old episodes before we get the new song?
It's weird.
And you listen to the old theme, you're like,
weird.
What the hell is this?
The old logo looks so like choppy, and I like it.
It's got a classic touch. It's literally just RuneScape text on like a transparent PNG.
Yep. Anybody could do it. Anybody could remake it. It could be, you could ask your 6th grade nephew to make you a logo, and that's what he would pop out. So, new logo, new song. We're in love with it. More so not we, but I brought forth the idea of new logo, new song every year, and Oxie's like, no, dude, this is us. We're not changing it. I was like, okay, I can see that.
Now, mind you, the logic behind that was, look at a franchise like Star Wars. Star Wars, the words Star Wars have been written in a million different fonts, in a million different ways. They've had a million different variations of the theme song. They've got like the disco version of the song or whatever. But when you start a Star Wars movie, it's the same thing every time. Dun, 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 dun. We're gonna get copyright stricken if I go any further. It's the scrolling text. It's the same font. It's the same intro theme that it's been since 1977, right? That's the logic for me with Xpwaste. Is I want the show to have that Star Wars feel. We could do a heavy metal cover of Dream. We could do Xpwaste logos, because we talked like we could do like a 90s like Taco Bell lobby theme for Xpwaste. We could do all sorts of themes to write the words Xpwaste podcast. And I'm not opposed to that for merch or special events or like Discord or Twitter branding. You know me, I love Halloween. If we could get a Halloween version of Dream and like a haunted Xpwaste logo, that would be awesome for just that little bit of time.
Yeah.
Because that's the only exception to the Dream rule is the mausoleum opening that we do in Halloween. But I think keeping the logo and the sound the same is part of our identity at this point. But additions to that, I don't like to think of like a new logo and a new song as a replacement, but rather like a supplement. But when the movie starts, it's still Star Wars with the main scroll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And if you look at other Star Wars media, Kenobi, Andor, Mandalorian, they don't start with that scroll or anything like that at all. So maybe there is potential, because I know you and I have been sort of scripting some things for 2023 in order to like expand Xpwaste as like an online content thing. it's a little vague dip into next year. We'll see how far Michael and I get with it, so no promises. But like, I think there's mad potential for new intros and logos for additional pieces of content. But like main title podcasts that like people know us for, I don't know. I like. I'm a man who does very little change. I've had the same background for 3 years on my computer. So, you know.
Ugh. Anyway, I think you're right. When I proposed that, it was like more so thinking like, oh, well, we did it last year. Should we do it again? But you make great points. You make great points. I like the theme that we have now. And then for fun events, like for Christmas, we could have had a Jingle Bells like version or a holiday version of Dream. That would have been cool.
Festive Dream, Haunted Dream.
The only issue with that was we would do like 2 episodes in December, so it would like almost be wasted.
We'd have to produce that ourselves to save the money. I think the Haunted one we could justify, but like because we do so few episodes in December, we really
can't do it.
Money would be in the bin for that one.
All right, so moving on. This was the very first update of the year. And if you can believe it, it's been a long year. Nex, N-E-X. Nex came out in 2022. January 5th is when we did the episode for it. I don't know if it came out. I guess it may have came out in 2021. But we did an episode about it.
I think it was early January, remember? Because they pushed leagues back. And they're like, but because we're pushing leagues to 22, you can fight Nex in leagues. And then nobody fought Nex.
I was going to say, did anybody fight Nex in leagues?
No, because nobody was good enough to do small teams Nex at the time.
It's crazy.
So
episode 43 is how we started off the year with Nex, the 5th general. Moving on in the year, not a lot happened for Xpwaste between January and March. But in March, specifically on March 13th, we released xpwaste.shop. Our merch store went live. And we have successfully donated to a charity, like we said, and we'll continue to do that as we raise funds in the merch store. March 31st, episode 55, notably was when Guardians of the Rift came out and runecrafting lost its seat as the worst skill to train in the game, being replaced by mining or agility, depending on how you look at it. But
Sepulcher go burr, mining.
Mining, you're number 1, baby. Worst skill to train in the game.
Hail to the king of the worst skills in the game.
Honestly,
good job.
Colossal Pouch changed the way that we look at runecrafting post 85. It still kind of sucks, a little bit from getting to the point where you can use a Colossal Pouch, but the minigame is fun. Minigame is hella fun. So that's great. This one is near and dear to my heart. And actually, stuff did happen in February. I lied. These are just really out of order for some reason. But episode 50, the last time that we did a drinking episode, fun as hell. We're going to be doing that again in 2023. Stay tuned for that. But that's when the fruit emerged on my desk. So if you guys are not aware, there was a 10-week long discussion meme segment, I like to call it, of the fruit update. And what had happened was we did episode 50 and we made cocktails. Those cocktails required like actual fruit. I bought a lot of fruit because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to need. So I bought 2 limes, 2 lemons, and 2 oranges. I only ended up using 1 lime, 1 lemon, and 1 orange. That left me with a lime, a lemon, and an orange just sitting on my desk. I got kind of lazy. Very lazy, actually. So episode 50 happened. The fruit stayed on my desk. The fruit stayed on my desk for 10 full weeks. And it wasn't until I was just, I don't know, bullied into it, convinced.
Didn't one of them like erode onto itself?
Nothing happened that would cause this fruit to like leak or become smelly or anything. It literally was just about, hey, I think it's time. It's just time. It's time for it to go. And so if you're on the Patreon, there's a video of me dissecting the fruit, seeing what it looks like on the inside, and like giving it a proper burial into my compost bin. But that's where the fruit comes from. And actually we made merch. It's called R.I.P. the Fruit. You can buy this merch now on our shop. Anyway, it's got a fun little graphic on the back. Oxy is just like having a good time right now. So it's got all the dates in which the fruit appeared on the show, starting in February, going all the way till April. So yeah. And I finally sacrificed the fruit to the compost bin on May 5th, 2022. So that was a long and fun ride, and a pretty unknown inside joke, I would say, to people that join us now.
If you joined recently, you have no idea what we're talking about. But so you know me, I don't like to disparage or dehumanize groups of people because that's kind of fucked up. But Fruit Sleuths be damned. You people are off the chain with what you love. This man, for all of you who maybe joined in like August onward, that you might not recognize the thing. Michael let this fruit get so gross on his desk. Do you know what happens to a lime after you don't touch it for 10 weeks? It turns into a walnut. It gets brown and wrinkly, and you can tap it with hard objects and it will make a noise.
Ding, ding, ding,
Do you know what happens to a lemon? It turns into a lime, green and firm. Do you know what happens to an orange? Not much, surprisingly, but still gross.
Yeah,
that
so
it's just there.
This is what the
for
fruit
10
looked like after the 10 weeks.
That is not what.
Oh
it
wait,
looked
no,
like after
this
the
was
10 weeks.
fresh fruit. This is fresh on my desk when I took pictures of it. You're right.
I was going to say, you are full of it. That is not what those monstrosities look like.
Wait a second. No, this is the last picture I ever took of them.
I swear to
This is
God,
the
the fruit
last
did
picture.
not look like that. I ain't trying to gas lamp you, Michael, but those fruit were disgusting. I'm sorry. They were gross. And this man, it was not only was Michael so enthusiastic about this nasty fruit, he had a cult following of people. We get into the recording booth chat and immediately, how's the fruit? How's the fruit? How's the fruit? At Michael, how's the fruit? At Michael, how's the fruit? What? It was disgusting. Disgusting. And I'm so glad the fruit is in the bin, deep in the ground, doing its purpose and decomposing as it should have been a week after episode 50.
Yeah. It should have been a week after episode 50, but there is a there's an emote in the Discord, and there is a shrine to the fruit in my background. I went and bought plastic fruit just to keep having it, like to have it in my life, so you guys can see. If you're on the video version, it's always behind me, invisible in the camera. I guarantee you, though, Oxy, I guarantee you the picture that's on the shirt is the day I threw it away.
We should go back and watch the YouTube video after this to fact check ourselves.
I really think
because
so.
It's so gross. It's so gross. But can we please move on to literally any other topic than this nasty ass fruit?
Yeah. So moving on, why don't you take the next couple ones, because I don't want to talk this whole time.
Damn, I was kind of hoping you would talk. The last several weeks have been very Oxy-centric episodes, so I was really looking forward to Michael talking a lot this week. No, it's fine. I'll do the next few, and then you could go back to it. So this year we were not just us on the show. So last year we did have a couple people stop in and interview with us, or do whatever. But this year we had more, which is really exciting. The notable interview that we did it with Chaos, YouTube creator. Go check him out. I think it's just Chaos on YouTube.
OSRS
right?
Chaos.
OSRS Chaos.
K-A-O-Z.
If it's not. Yeah, it was fun to talk to. That was like a 3.5 hour episode. It's a really fun time. He makes pretty good content. He makes great beginner guides. Great YouTube content. Go check him out. We had a blast with him. But Michael and I were not able to be at the computer with each other every week because we release this is episode
88, 89, 80. Well, I do odd numbers,
and I did last week's episode because of the Infernal Cape. No, I do even numbers, and I only did last week as an odd number because of the Inferno Cave.
Okay, so you do even numbers,
So
it's
this
88.
week is, yeah.
You guys
So
know.
we're what?
We're dumb.
45 episodes in. Michael and I were not able to be together for all 45 of those. So we did have a lot of people jump in as co-hosts. So we would like to give a big shout out to Scape, Dills, TMD, Ferraric, and Michael's wife, Lise, for helping out and filling in for either Michael or myself in our absences. Honorable mention to Heartless from the Wilderness Podcast, because he and I were supposed to record 1 week, and then I got sick like a mumpty, so I couldn't actually record that night, and then schedules just never lined up again, unfortunately. But shout out to everyone who helped us this week, because that, you figure what, you were gone for 3 weeks, I was gone for 3 weeks, and then we also had like various other like vacations. I'm not going to be home for this episode kind of thing. So we would have had like, we might still be in the 70s had we not had people to like come help us out with episodes.
Right. Because that would have just been 3 weeks each time where.
Yeah. It's like a minimum of 6 episodes that we don't have, which is like, it was like 3 weeks straight. So it'd be like a month of content. So to everyone who helped us co-host and stood in for somebody else, you guys helped the show immensely, because we just kept releasing content because we had your guys' help. So huge shout out to you guys.
Thank you.
I'm going to hand this next one over to Michael, because it's about Patreon, and I know you guys know that I'm so good at promoting the show, and it's my favorite thing to do, especially when I get monetary gain from it. But I'm going to let Michael practice it a little bit, because he's got to improve his skill set.
So in June, if you could believe it, in June of this year, we devised a goal to hit 150 patrons. It may have been July. It was a long time ago. That's what I'm trying to say. We hit it. We had devised the goal to hit 150 patrons. Initially, it was a kind of a selfish goal. We're like, hey, help us hit 150
the
patrons.
first iteration really wasn't great.
Yeah. We're like, hey, help us hit 150 patrons, and Oxie and I will get tattoos, and you guys will just clap for us. That's kind of how it felt.
In hindsight, it really wasn't good, the initial goal.
No.
But
we changed it. We spent a couple months with almost no growth on the Patreon, because arguably I wouldn't blame you. Thank you so much if you did join us during that first initial push of the goal. But like, looking back and being sort of like introspective, it was a bit selfish. So went back to the drawing board and said, how about if we just host a meetup? That's going to happen no matter what, if you're a patron or not, because that was kind of the thing, is like, we'll hit 150 patrons. Oxie and I will get tattoos, and then the week that we hit the 150 patrons, we'll do a meetup. Like, there was almost no way to schedule it. It was kind of bonkers looking back. So we said, no, okay, we'll separate them. Oxie and I will get tattoos no matter what. RIP us not getting tattoos. We'll do the meetup.
We have awful luck with tattoo artists. We really do.
We'll do the meetup no matter what. We scheduled a date for it. It was a blast, and we'll get more into that here in a minute. And the new goal became, once we hit 150 patrons, we're going to make shirts, and we're going to commemorate every single person who was with us when we hit 150, and we're going to put your names on the back of the shirt. We're going to design a sick front part for it, and we're going to give you that shirt for free, shipping and handling all included. And that became the new goal. We actually hit that goal right around mid-October. So I think we changed it maybe in like near mid-September, early September, to, hey, help us hit this goal. I've said goal so many times. I'm so sorry. And yeah, we hit 150, and we kind of felt bad, because like the day we hit 150, there was like an extra couple people that joined. And so we're like, okay, we'll just extend it out to every person who is with us up until November 1st. So October 31st is the cutoff. And it ended out, we have 154 people who are going to get their name on the back of a shirt, and then we're going to send it out to them.
Which update on that, by the way, for the people who are curious. That happened in October. It's currently December 18th, and you guys still don't have shirts. There's a reason for that. Michael and let me back up. Michael has created a design. I have given feedback, but he's done all the drawing for it. The original plan was we're going to get in contact with a tattoo artist here in Michigan. So when Michael inevitably comes up to visit, we can, get our tattoo together, the fabled one we were supposed to get when we met the first time in Texas. And I've been like playing phone tag, DM tag, going into the shop to try to talk to this guy who does American traditional work really well for like 2 or 3 weeks. Come to find out, the poor man is having medical issues and has been out of the shop since the first time I stopped him. I went in there the other day and they're like, yeah, I would put whatever commission you're talking about on hold. Because we're trying to like show this guy our design, have him draw it in his American traditional style, pay him for the licensing rights, put it on shirts, send it out to you guys, and then probably stick some variation of it in the merch store, just without the names on the back, because that's the special Patreon one. But the logo is going to be super cool. So we're probably going to add more like, merch, blah, 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 whatever with that. And then afterwards, we were going to be like, all right, save this design, because in a couple of months, we're going to want to get something similar as a tattoo, right?
Yeah.
And I believe we've shown the design once or twice. It says, always remember to Xpwaste. There are some American traditional flowers. Unfortunately, there's some cross sections of this nasty ass fruit, and then it has all 4 pictures of the Patreon, the Patreon logos: the Gnome Child, Party Pete, Wise Old Man, and KBD, kind of like their chat heads in there. And in the banner, it says, always remember to Xpwaste. And the original variation Michael and I were going to do, he was going to get the Wise Old Man. I was going to get the Infernal Cape, which I didn't have an Infernal Cape at the time, which was hysterical. It would have been good content. But those, we figure, are 2 things that are very iconic to each of us on the show. You guys think of that. And then for Patreon, there's really nothing more than those 4 like character logos. So we wanted to get that formal and like well done by a professional. That is probably not going to happen. So we're going to have Michael draw it, who has been paying incredibly close attention to what he's been doing. I'm like, I say we send it out as is. He's like, no, I'm going to rework the shit out of this piece. So Michael is working to make it look as professional and well done as possible for someone who is not a professional graphic designer. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to have the American traditional tinge that Michael has really wanted. I don't really know or care about tattoo styles, but I want the tattoo to match. So American traditional it is, baby. So if we haven't already, we're going to stick a kind of work in progress image up right now, and then offer a formal apology for making you guys wait for months. We have your names. We have your information. You're still getting a shirt. Come hell or high water, y'all are getting a shirt eventually. Just not by the end of the year. And that's on us, and we apologize. Because we were really hoping the Texas tattoo artist would work out so we could message them and be like, hey, here's a commission. Do the same thing, but a little bit different. That didn't work out. The next Texas tattoo artist didn't work out. The tattoo artist in Michigan hasn't worked out. So we have just terrible luck with tattoos, other than our sick-ass RuneScape tattoos that we got on a whim and kind of got scammed for. We paid way too much money for these tattoos.
That's very RuneScape, though, isn't it? Like, just getting scammed in general.
Yeah, they trimmed our armor for free. At this place. But God, my tattoo artist does such good work. No one, like, their shop minimum was like $100. I follow the guy who did my DDS on Instagram. Holy shit!
I'm really thinking about going to him for a piece. Like,
no wonder their shop minimum is $100. That shit they do at that shop is awesome.
It's good stuff.
And like a 3-inch dragon dagger, while perfectly average for most people, is probably not worth $100. So, we tattoo hard, and we apologize, but it's still happening. we're sorry we're being shitters about it. It's still happening.
Yeah. I think you're right in the sense that if our artist that we had originally booked was more committed to being an actual viable, reliable.
You want to talk about something else? Yeah, Michael heated real quick. Oh, man.
If he had worked out, then we could have had shirts to you guys before the end of the year because, like Oxie said, we could have had him design the shirt logo for us. That was the whole idea of getting the tattoo, was that we wanted it to be so close in concept to what we would put on a shirt that it would be a no-brainer just to have him design it. So it's really frustrating that didn't work out. And again, we apologize, but it'll be a really great thing in 2023 to celebrate the new year with a shirt showing up for you in the mail. So look forward to that. We'll keep you guys updated as we progress through this whole thing and navigate like buying shirts from a manufacturer. Like it's all new. It's all new to us because like our merch store.
The process is going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
But they're coming. Michael explained it to me yesterday, and I'm like, why don't we just use Teespring? It's like 200% more cost for us.
It's bad.
And we're like, yikes.
Yeah. It would cost us probably a couple grand to have it done all through Teespring for how many people we have. So unfortunately, we don't have that kind of
individual shipping, international shipping, doing like, because again, we have all your guys' information. But Michael and his wife are gonna have to like hand package them bitches.
Which is fine. I want to give you guys a quality product, and if we were going to spend a couple of thousands of dollars that we have been entrusted with, it's not going to be the quality that I would want from something like Teespring.
And it's your money, too. So it's not like we're gonna, get you guys the shittiest shirts available because you guys have supported us so much and so well over this last year that we're trying to find something that isn't like the cheapest possible 50 cents for a shirt arrives in 6 months.
Yeah. This won't be Dollar Tree shirts, guys. It's going to be good. It's just going to take a little bit. If it comes to the point where I have to learn how to screen print, I will do it. I hope it doesn't, but golly gee, I will do it for you guys. So we hit 150 patrons back in October. Currently, there's not any goals that we have for Patreon in the new year, but that's not to say that we won't. We're steadily climbing with our supporters, and that's amazing. We love you guys. None of this is ever like expected of anybody. It's just like vastly appreciated, I think is the best way that I can put it. So thank you. We'll probably talk a little bit more about Patreon later because we have shout outs to give. So moving on to our YouTube, you guys helped us hit 1,000 subscribers in August of 2022, which was huge. 1,000 YouTube subs is not an easy feat. Your first 1,000, your first 10,000, that's always the hardest. I think the way that YouTube works is like they kind of reward people who have already kind of been successful. So getting there is like climbing uphill in the snow. And then finally, when you hit like 10, 20, 30,000, you kind of have a little bit easier because there's a pair of skis at the top and you can kind of just coast down this kind of treacherous trail, but you're on skis now. That's kind of how the best analogy I can give. But we're on the climb. We're on the climb. I think we're at close to 1,400 now since we hit 1K in August. But if we're being honest, YouTube is not the main focus. YouTube has never been the main focus of this show.
Which is also astonishing why we're at like almost 1,400 subscribers, because we have openly admitted that YouTube is not a good platform for
not for podcasting. No.
And we still have a lot of people watching on YouTube, and that's cool as heck.
Yeah. So if you're one of them, if you're one of the people who are like YouTube only, a lot of people are like, I'm Spotify only, I'm Apple Music, Apple Podcasts only, I'm audio only. Like if you have been looking at our faces the entire time you've been watching or ingesting Xpwaste content, hello, give you a little wave. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thanks for all the likes, comments. Even if you haven't subscribed, we appreciate you. One thing that we have been focusing on is just making this podcast. having our voices be transmitted into your ear holes has been the whole point of us making this podcast. And we hit a pretty big milestone. We recently hit 300,000 total streams across our just audio platforms. I think on YouTube it says we had a total of like 60,000 views over all of our videos, but 300,000 streams. I want to give a massive thank you to everybody for people who have like listened to multiple episodes. Like, I know you guys listen to multiple episodes, but like the same episode multiple times, like that's pretty big. Going back in the catalog and finding old episodes that you want to listen to.
A lot of people start our show from the beginning, which is really cool because our show is in no way organized that you need to.
Right.
So if anyone is like listening now and you're finally caught up like this Thursday, like it's my first episode and we're just now telling you 88 weeks in that you didn't need to listen from episode 1, we apologize, but we appreciate you for putting in the extra effort, you know, because a lot of things like our YouTube count is a little skewed because we tried to like promote with like a Google thing.
Oh, yeah, we advertised
and our analytics. We advertised it, and our analytics were really good. We were getting several thousand views per episode, but our average watch time was like a minute and a half
out of,
and that's because
120 or 130 minutes that we have.
We'd have we'd have 5,000 views on a 2-hour podcast. We'd have a 97-second average watch time because we had like 200 or 300 people sit down and watch the whole thing. And then we had what we suspect to be like bots come through, click on the video and move on.
Yeah.
So we had no viewer retention, so we stopped doing that. So YouTube analytics, for me at least, are a little skewed. You can't skew the audio analytics. I listen to my own show on occasion if I don't edit that week's episode. But let me tell you, like that is not enough to pull 300,000 streams. You guys have been nuts. And Michael brought up a fantastic point yesterday. At the end of last year, we hit 50,000 streams, and we were excited.
Yeah.
Over the course of a year minus 4 days, because that was on December 22nd. This is December 18th. So the day this episode comes out, we will have accrued over 250,000 streams.
Insane.
Across all of our podcasting platforms. That's fucking nuts, by the way.
That's 5x growth.
The growth this show has seen and this community has seen. Last year, in the year in review, I made a comment about how this time in 2020, right? Not 2021, 2020, there was like 50 people here. 20 of them were active. I remember saying like we had to literally like twist people's arms to play Springo.
Oh,
which if you just showed up in the Discord, if you just showed up to TNL a couple months ago for King of the Hill, we were like begging people to stop signing up. Like and which is not true, by the way. Everyone's always welcome to sign up. But last year we literally had to get like an entire additional team of players because we only had like 12 people who wanted to participate from like our active group. Last year I'm like, dude, we have 340 people. That's wild. Oh my god. In our introduction get roles tab that we have created, 1,302 people have reacted to the TNL role.
Oh my gosh. With
almost 1,100 of you specifically being XP wasters. There's also 2 people who have reacted with Torag's hammers for some reason. I don't know what that's all about, but those reactions, it's literally like quadruple what we had at the end of last year. It's nuts. I was talking earlier to Tyler while watching the World Cup. Several people in the VC made the consensus that we don't have enough voice chats for the amount of people. We have like 15 for all various topics. We don't have enough general VCs. We don't have enough bossing or rating VCs.
Wow. Can you imagine?
And when that's the problem that we're running into, this is a group of people who originated with an 11-man bingo group that had to be expanded to justify team sizes. Now is like running out of space in VC for people to hang out with. Yeah. So when I look at that analytics specifically of how many people have joined the Discord compared to how many people have streamed the show with how many people have done whatever, it's a really weird and satisfying, like, all right, we're legit. We know we're good at this
Right.
enough. We're decent enough at it to draw people in, you know? Like it's just, I don't know. It's cool to look at. We're RuneScape players, and when number go up, our brain go burr. And let me tell you, them numbers be going up and our brains be going burr when we look at that shit. And that's all thanks to you
Yeah.
guys.
I was thinking about it today. I'm like, if we continue with the same trajectory of growth from 2021 to 2022, we had 5x plays. We had 50,000 to 300,000. If we continue with that, we'll hit over 1 million streams this time next year, 2023. I don't know if that's
No.
going to happen. It could.
Now here's the thing. I want clear my throat for a second. I want everyone to get close. Take your fingers and push your earpods into your head, right? Get really close to the screen on YouTube with your headphones on, right? Because I want you to listen to me. I know that a JagX moderator has listened to our show at least once. I would like to think that some of them...
not improbable.
It's not impossible that over 300,000 streams, a JMod has heard us speak at least one time. If there is not a podcasting category at the Golden Gnomes in 2024, 2023 is coming up. So if there is not a Golden Gnome category for the year of 2023 for podcasting, I am going to get a Golden Tench IRL and beat Michael black and blue with it. So help me God. Now, do I think we are going to win a Golden Gnome? Only because we have to compete. theyve is going to win a Golden Gnome for podcasting. It's not a competition. But you figure we've got the theyve cast, we've got Based After Dark, which is just a bunch of high-level PVM streamers doing a YouTube podcast, I think. I don't think they're on Spotify. You have the Osrs podcast, another group of very skilled big streamers who do a YouTube podcast that recently moved over to Spotify. You have podcasts that have been around for like 7 years. Like the Wilderness podcast is almost on episode 300. Their first one was in like 2016. So while we don't have a lot of competition for old school RuneScape podcasts, there's some newer ones that have popped up that are pretty good. Lumbridge Lounge, Skillin' and Chillin'. Boon Bape is out there. You know, if Dorks and Daggers releases a season 2, they got really good RuneScape content for podcasting. There's a lot of people, but there's like 3 or 4 podcasts occupied by like partnered streamers and YouTubers.
So unfortunate
that competing against is going to be tough. So we're hoping for this Xpwaste. If there's a category, we're looking for that nomination. Michael and I will consider a nomination a dub, but JMod's podcasting category.
It's well overdue.
Just do a RuneScape podcasting category.
Well overdue.
I don't even think that we would win it. We don't even care if we're not. We just want to see the medium recognized.
Yeah, I agree.
Podcast category for Golden Gnomes for the year of 2023. 2022, when you do it in 2023, the one that's coming up, understandable, especially if you already planned on all the topics. Still love to see it. There's still time. But it's understandable.
Yeah. It's gotta happen.
You can take your hands off your AirPods now and back away from your screen. My little vague threat is over. But yeah, I'm hoping that with the kind of like with the waves that podcasting has made in old school RuneScape, or for this branch of content, which we have contributed to. We've got the receipts to back it up, obviously. But we have contributed to this new wave of like, first it was YouTube. RuneScape content on YouTube has been around forever. And then it was Twitch streaming, which there's a lot of people who have done Twitch streaming really well. Like people really love watching high level players stream this shit. And now I feel like podcasting is finally coming into its own. You know, people who have been doing this for a long time. I think we've talked to Dills and Heartless about it. They're like the only podcast that has survived that period of time. Because I don't even think theyve is as old as they are. But then you have people who just make such good podcasting content for old school RuneScape that aren't Xpwaste, where it now feels legit. Like there are people, I'm not a podcast listener, you guys have known this from the start. But people whose primary source of entertainment is podcasting, there's now RuneScape for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I wish it expanded more onto audio platforms because, again, YouTube, just not great for it. You know, it's not the worst, but compared to Spotify and Apple Music,
it's more accessible, I think.
It's just not as...
Because like you need to have YouTube Premium to make it something where you could do it on the go. And not everybody wants to sit in front of their computer or their TV for hours and just listen.
Yeah, a lot of people have that opportunity with like working from home, but not a lot of people also don't. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even commit 2 straight hours to listening to a podcast at work.
Yeah.
Let alone, you know, and that's like with my AirPods walking around the building, let alone sitting at my computer.
It takes a lot of dedication, and we appreciate each and every one of you who do it weekly. Because like I used to be an avid listener. I used to be an avid podcast consumer. I would probably put in at least like 20 to 30 hours of podcast a week. And that was when I was just driving around doing my delivery job. So I had a lot of time to myself. But now that I work from home and I do a support thing, it's like I can't be typing a sentence out and then also listening to somebody talk. It just doesn't work out for me.
Oh my God. I can't do notes with podcast on. I can't think my own thoughts and listen to someone else's thoughts about something completely irrelevant to what I'm trying to do.
It's got to be like lo-fi or jazz or something.
Yeah, I can't listen to podcasts and write because I have to write a lot for work. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, thank you guys so much. Seriously, that's the end of everything I had written down.
This is a good cap for the year in review.
Yeah. When we come back from the break, I would love to give this as a teaser because I don't know what the statistics are like, but we do have a drop off. There's a definite drop off of people who listen to the main part. When you hear the word "we're going to break," you're like, okay, I'm out. But stay tuned. And this is not a ploy to get you to keep listening. I just want to let you know we have pulled our Discord and we have asked people to give us their firsts. So first fire cape, first quest cape, etc. And we are going to reveal those numbers to you live in the next portion. So stay tuned after the break. Listen to this recycled commercial. Make it through the patron shoutouts, and we'll get you to more fun content in the Achievement of the Week section hosted by our very own Toxie, who is poor, apparently. So, any last thoughts, Toxie? I know this is your episode to send them, so I'll just
new skill good. New skill good. Xpwaste listeners better. 2022 has been a very good year for us, for the show, for us personally. We have obviously had our own ups and downs personally. Shout out to those several months I was unemployed, and then the several additional months I was employed but not getting paid because United States internships are great.
Yeah,
you know, there's been a lot of lows, there's been a lot of highs. Michael, you've gotten new jobs. Your child has grown into, you know, almost an agility bot, and he's almost there,
dude. He knows how to work a mouse.
I graduated from grad school, so we're done with school for the next at least 20 years, but maybe forever, who knows. In game, you maxed, and I got my Infernal Cape. And now people need something new to make fun of us for. So 2023 at Michael and ask him how his Infernal Cape is going. I'm kidding. Don't do that. We're not.
I'll ban. I will literally server mute anybody who says that to me. Sorry.
Michael is about to be swinging
Not
that
happening.
band hammer because you guys are such loyal fans that every single one of you is going to ask him about it. You can at me about a max cape, and I'm going to tell you the same thing. 2025, baby. Yeah, so we're going to find new things for you guys to add us for and make fun of us for. But thank you all for joining us on this journey to achieve 2277 and the best in slot melee cape. And every other awesome thing we've done in game that you guys have listened to. We're about to shout out all the awesome stuff you do in game, but before that, we're going to go to a break. You guys are awesome, and we will see you very soon.
Are you tired of your
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important safety announcement. Attention. This is a message from the Gillinor Protection Agency. If you are receiving this message, an ancient deity has returned to Gillinor, and you are in grave danger. This deity has been described as a large, masculine humanoid with white hair surrounding his head and face. Many reports also suggest he covers himself in blood-red clothing. Accounts of this deity date back over 100 years, with most having come from children. The Gillinor Protection Agency has yet to fully understand his powers, but can confirm he is omniscient, with the abilities to both see adventurers when they are sleeping and know when they are awake. Additionally, some suggest he has the ability to cast judgment on those who come in contact with him, deciding whether their souls are good or evil based on unspecified criteria. If you are receiving this message, you are advised to cooperate with the following instructions. Stay inside. Lock all of your doors and windows. Close any chimney flues in your home. Hang your stockings. Say your prayers. Be warned, these methods may not be sufficient to prevent his presence from entering your home. As such, the Gillinor Protection Agency advises you to leave an offering of milk and cookies in an open and accessible space. The Gillinor Protection Agency will continue to update you on the situation at hand. Thank you for your cooperation, and have a safe holiday season. You will now be returned to your regularly scheduled broadcast.
and is completely idiotic. The White Knights of Falador will compensate you for the magical reversal of your genitalia.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the final commercial of 2022, because I know I sure did. Michael and I realized over the break that we never once talked about, well, we kind of did, the Xpwaste meetup that happened in November. Yeah. That shit was lit. If you went to the meetup, you're awesome. We're going to do another one. I kind of want to shoot for June in the Detroit area. So you guys will probably have to get Ubers from DTW or a taxi or something to Midtown temporarily. I've had a couple people reach out and tell me like, oh, I'll take a van up to northern Michigan. Like, I'll drive, no problem. You guys can use my property. We can do something here. I think for liability's sake, it's easiest if we do something in a public space, like rent a floor of a hotel and do something in either Metro Detroit or Midtown Detroit. I don't want it to be astronomically expensive, so I don't think like a Tigers game is feasible. As much fun as that would be to all go to together, it wouldn't open up a lot of opportunity to hang out with each other like main event did. So we are still fielding options, but right now I'm shooting for June of 2023. We still have a lot of refinement to do, but June of 2023 in the Detroit or the Metro Detroit area.
Mark,
so
you
guys have some semblance of this. I know people have been asking for like dates and locations, and like I can't give you that, but I'm gonna try to hone it in a little bit for the end of 2022.
It'll be a weekend. That's almost
it will be a weekend. So it's never gonna be. It'll probably realistically it'll be a Saturday. Yeah. Michael's probably gonna come up early, but I mean that's so that Michael can meet my cat and get a tattoo or whatever. Like it's not going to be it's not going to be
it's not the XP weekend. It's not the meetup weekend. Realistically, it'll be like we did in Texas.
It'll be the Saturday. It'll be a lot of fun. We just have to figure out what to do. And we'll get there. We'll let you guys know. But for right now, a Saturday in June of 2023 in the Detroit or Metro Detroit area. It's the best we can do. But you want to know why one of the reasons we did a meetup originally? We originally based that off of Patreon supporters. which is exactly what we're going to transition to now. Holy shit, he's
Buttery.
so talented at podcasting and also quite handsome.
And humble.
We're gonna get into the wise old man tier here. So as always, we're gonna kick it off. Starting us off, we have Escape Caution, 10,000 Slugs, Andrew, Alagio, Armadillo, but spelled like Armadillo. Love that. Bolimer, Basket, Benjamin R, Pork Jerry, Bradley B, Bronze Yone, Buzz SS. He's got several Z's in there, so I had to make sure you knew. Chris, whose name is also in-game Chris. Hadadbod, Christian V, Cole, C. Gladney, Connor M, Creamed Ham, Daniel J.K., Dean R, Dean709, whose birthday is tomorrow. Happy early birthday,
Happy birthday.
Dean.
Or late birthday.
Drum TXT, Duke Bradley, DWZK, D. Falconer, Farmer Isaac, Fortimus, Francine1225, Gecko, Paget, Who Farted, I'm a Great Guy, Fear Garden, Jack M, Jake, parentheses, Deathbeds, parentheses, AIC, STP, parentheses, Abused by Michael, parentheses,
Loved by Michael.
close,
I changed
close
it.
parentheses, close parentheses. Jake W, Jerry, John P, John S, Kevin B, Kios Bane, So Close, our boy Kyle, Potato Pancake, Posh Padre, Magmorpheus, Miyamo Poppy, Migrel, Mike Oxmall, Mima, Moist Sean, Nasty MFer, Nick My Knack, 999, Ninja Turtle Ruby, Obsidian Paladin, Old Mate Dill, Old Nikya, Okami Damashi, Poorly Hung, Purple Knight, Are You Swole, Real Crazy, Reclinatus, Root Tigert 35, Russa Fury, Salted Snail, or just Seth. Hi, Seth. Soggy Waffles, Shadow, Skalaxon, Sholdveg, Slayoxis, Solaire OS, Taco Ninja, Tank Neek, the Chungaroo, the Rep Dog, THG Bang, Sir Thormac, Tiger Guy, Troll, Mr. Two Tick, Tyler, Underwear, Valdon, Weird Panda 1, Zach without a K, Ice, Wallow. Thank you guys for supporting at the Wise Old Man tier. There's 88 of you now, which we're going to name them off every single time. So this segment has just gotten longer and longer. We're not going to complain about it because you guys are fantastic for the amount of support that you give. But just know that it's not getting any shorter, and we are not upset about it.
We should have a competition between you and I. Who can do it with the least amount of cuts? Because you were on a roll
really
there
should.
for a second.
I was on a roll, and then we unfortunately we stumbled a little bit once or twice or 7 times. No big deal. But now we're transitioning into the KBD tier, the Giga Chads, the OG bosses, Shaco Rexus, if you will. The KBD tier of supporters here on Patreon, and we have a guy named Sparry, who also generously hosts a Minecraft server for us over in TNL. Bloodman, aka Young Kyle, Broix70, my dad, hi dad, Cloud Kicker, Dicky Bird, Evasive Ebu, GIM Stones, Imby Jones, Kroll, the Lord Jake himself, iSteam, Rylithian, SatanBot666, Seth Shep, Skooma92, Spartan Fire, the Big G Jordy, the Crayola Crayon, and Toast No Toast as the last patron to be shouted out in this year of our Lord Guthix 2022. Thank you for your support at the KBD tier.
Thank you, guys.
I wish there was more I had to say, but I'm thinking I'm going to end the year as I started it, awkwardly stuttering through thank yous for supporting us, doing what we do anyway, just talking about RuneScape, but now it's recorded. You guys like it so much you want to pay us for it, and that warms my heart and also makes me a little anxious, but we're working on that. If you would like to support us, head over to patreon.com/Xpwaste. You can support at any tier, ranging from as little as $1. There's a variety of perks, including the snazzy recording booth chat, where you can listen to us live and get your name shouted out on the podcast at certain tiers and above. We have extra episodes, all sorts of fun. Additional content gets added onto the Patreon as well when Michael and I remember to do it, because we're not always the best at that, which we need to be better at. But you guys are awesome. Head over to that if you want to check that out. Also, head over to our merch store and buy a Christmas sweater. There's absolutely no chance you get it before Christmas, but, you know,
Still
consider it. Yeah, go give it a look if you'd like. I bought my mom and my sister sweaters, and I bought my dad a shirt, because there's no way the man was going to wear a sweater like that. So he has an ugly Christmas shirt.
Lovely.
But yeah, so go check that out. That's xpwaste.shop, as Michael mentioned in the first half of the episode. And I'm almost 100% certain that covers the monetary promotions that we need to do.
Well done. Thank you,
So
Oxie.
now that I have fulfilled my bit of it, I am going to let Michael do his bit.
That's me.
You know, get his bits on the table. You know what I'm saying?
I'm ready.
For the community question.
I'm ready. Yes. Thank you, Oxie. Shout out to all the patrons. Now it is time for the community question section, which this was a fun one because we recorded our episode and then the Winter Summit happened. And then, like, that was the question revolved around the Winter Summit. We got a fair few responses. I haven't even checked YouTube yet, but we got a fair few responses, all of which came in before the Winter Summit, arguably. There are a couple that are labeled December 10th, but we're just going to trust, since there's only 2 of them, that they came in before the summit or before they watched the summit. So we're going to start with the oldest ones first. So these are from December 8th. Chris says, I think it could be a new skill, possibly dungeoneering with associated quests. Was hoping for new leagues, as I have never tried it, but that's confirmed not happening. Love the podcast. Chris J, thank you. Hey, prediction correct. Why they didn't announce leagues, though, that's weird. We can't get
They
into
probably
it.
don't have enough information on it yet. They just know one is coming, I would bet. But
Okay. Also from December 8th, Real Crazy says, I hope they announce they have planned out and started working on finishing up all the unfinished quest series in the game. I want to explore them in Osrs instead of looking them up in RS3. That could happen. I mean,
it's happening a little bit. We're getting some finales.
Yeah.
We're getting the beginning of the Majorat line.
Young Max says, since Oxie just got the Infernal Cape, they'll release something better. Something leagues for. Okay, Young Mac, settle down there. Moist Sean says, better be a new skill. I'd love my first 99 to be an untrimmed new skill cape. Wow.
That actually would
That would be
super
cool.
now that you think about it. Yeah.
This is 10,000 Slugs, also December 8th. I think the world first will be a level cap increase. I feel like adding a new skill is a lost cause, and adding a level cap gives room for new content, crafting, monsters, and quests.
Okay. That wouldn't have been a bad
I think
shout.
that would have flown.
Incorrect, but would be fun.
Duke Bradley says, OSR's official first podcast, Xpwaste. Not sure what you're trying to say there.
I think he's saying that we would go from Xpwaste to the official old school
the
RuneScape podcast.
Okay.
Which that would be interesting, because how do we speculate on new content as JMods?
Right.
Like, how do you do that?
Right, because we effectively
How do you,
work for
like-
Jagex, and we're developing a podcast as employees of the company who makes the game. So we would just
like,
listen.
What's up? My name. Welcome back to the. It's weird because there's also a podcast called the Old School RuneScape Podcast. So like, welcome back to the official OSRS podcast. My name is Mod Oxie. I'm joined by Mod Bloodhound.
Modhound,
or
excuse me.
Whatever. Modhound. And we're gonna speculate about shit.
That we know.
And you guys are gonna take it as gospel because we're JMods, even though we're not filled in on this.
No,
at
that's what
all.
it would be. We would be JMods who can never attend a meeting and who have no access to internal systems.
Yeah, who also live in America. So it would be like a cosmetic role.
We just have the gold crown for no
That
reason.
said, salary for XP Waste might not be too
Hey,
bad.
yo.
So, A and yo.
All right. Let's see. Last one from the 8th of December. Quantum says, sailing, brah. Sailing, brah. Sweet. It didn't happen, but it kind of happened, you know? So you're kind of there.
Mhm.
December 9th, we have Dynamite 98 says, the first new skill to Osrs. That's right. Jagex is making smithing 2 as a follow-up to the skill that everyone's favorite skill. Through the skill, you'll finally be able to unlock the ability to quit the game. Smithing 2. That's all we needed, boys. Can you imagine? They're like, congratulations, you're 99 smithing. 2. In your account's just locked forever. Can't play it ever again. December 9th, Grutch.
Yep.
Grutch.
Yep.
Grutch. This is you, okay? I'm sorry. Very likely a new skill proposal, potentially a new skilling minigame and outfit, hopefully for herblore or crafting. An update on Menafos, possibly. Wishful thinking, but a tool belt edition would be nice.
Oh, God, that would have been so good.
Yes.
Oh, my God, a tool belt would have been so nice.
December 9th.
Should be JMods, so we can add a tool
Yeah.
belt.
Come on now. Sitting Rat says the Stamina Pot Bridge. So I don't know if you saw that from the Game Jam last year, but they proposed a bridge from like Zaya over to somewhere in Felda Pills. I can't remember. It would be the longest bridge in RuneScape. Nathan says, my hopes for the summit, Deadman mode, either a new system or the next one. Wildy Boss reworks. Mod softens Wildy expansion. A new skill or a skill expansion. The mystery quest / boss, and a new skilling minigame or skilling minigame boss. I would say a lot of those happened. A new skill, the mystery quest was announced. They kind of did Deadman mode, but they did something PvP related. So Nathan, you weren't far off. Seymour says they're going to be announcing all polls that would have previously passed with the new threshold will be added as quickly as development can be completed. I feel it in my bones. And there's a lot of those.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, there's a lot of those. That would be crazy because like that would fundamentally change some content, just straight up.
Yeah.
Alice on December 9th says the first ever Ultra Grandmaster quest. Ooh.
Okay.
Ultra Grandmaster. So honestly, I don't think there's anything tier wise that can be higher than Grandmaster. Like God tier, maybe. Legendary is not higher than Grandmaster. I don't know. The scale of like novice to Grandmaster is
well, because Mythic technically is,
I don't know. They've kind of limited themselves by really making Grandmaster the highest tier of anything in RuneScape. Like Grandmaster clues would be cool, but they already have Grandmaster combat achievements. I don't know. Elite is below Grandmaster in some sense. Okay, December 10th. These are the ones on the day of the summit.
So we'll see if they're sus or not.
We'll see if they're sus. D2 says beefaroni cheese dog. Thank you. And finally, Taco Dog on the 10th makes the claim, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm hoping we get a new skill or rework of some skills that really need the rework, mining and smithing. That is it for the Spotify community question replies. Moving over to our YouTube replies to the pinned comment. Same question. What do you think they'll announce at the Winter Summit? 10 days ago, which was 2 days before the summit, they said, Martin says, I think they're going to announce a new skill and more suffering.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty then. Scyther, 9 days ago, says, firstly, congrats on the Infernal Cape, Oxie. Also, belated congrats on the Max Cape. Thank you. For the community question, I think it has to be a new skill. The way they phrase it just seems like it would be a massive disappointment if it's anything else. Man, a lot of people were really betting on
really pushing for
skill.
that new skill. Honest to God, you guys are really pushing for it.
David says, listening to another podcast where Mod IE was on it makes me think, but not believe, OSR's first Darkscape server. They did speedrun server, so it's possible. according to Aiza, they are also willing to revive the PvP community. I do hope they're so confident about our new skill that this will be the announcement. I truly believe that this, with a fleshed out proposal plus the new feedback loops that they want to introduce to optimize content, it can pass. I think in this comment, David is referencing the Darkscape versus like Deadman mode. Well, it is Deadman mode, but versus saying like the new skill would pass. But, you know, we didn't get any sort of Deadman mode announcement. So 9 days ago, Mr. Two-Tick said, definitely the new Grandmaster Quest details. Also, I think a new prayer book could be high possibility, if not a new skill. Mr. Two-Tick, 3 for 3, my guy. Hell yeah. And that was 9 days ago. So that was definitely edited. The comment is edited. How can we trust them?
Dun. We don't. You're sus, Mr. Two-Tick. You're the imposter.
Wussy.
That's okay. You should be banned for that alone. He's kicked off the ship. We found the imposter. I think these responses tell us that either A, we have the single most intelligent and intuitive community ever who are able to predict everyone's next move without skipping a beat, or Jagex is ridiculously predictable in what they will release or what they will announce.
Yeah,
because
I think so.
Before the summer summit, everyone kept saying Raids 3, and wouldn't you know it, Raids 3. Everyone kept saying new skill, wouldn't you know it, new skill. So, what could come next for the summer summit of 23? We don't know, but only one way to find out, I guess.
What we do know is that we appreciate each and every one of you for answering the community question each and every week. It's something that we'll continue to do for the foreseeable future. It may not be a staple on the show every week. At some point, it may move on. We don't know. But Spotify has given us this ability to ask you a question and you answer it on their app. So it's really cool. Sorry for all the Apple people or Google, I don't know, anybody besides anybody who doesn't listen on Spotify. But you can always head over to YouTube to answer the question there. This week's question is a pretty big one. And moving into the Achievement of the Week section, I think this is going to be a hype question for next week as we move into the new year. This week's community question is going to be, what is your greatest achievement of 2022? Tell us. We want to know. We shout you out for achievements that we think are cool, but we want to know what you think is cool. It doesn't have to be, I got 99 smithing. It can literally be, I set a goal to do X, I achieved X. Simple as that. Whatever you think your greatest achievement is, let us know in the community questions section on Spotify or the pinned comment on YouTube. Actually, I do now think time you take over this.
Dude, why say lot word when few word do trick? Michael is correct. It is time for Achievement of the Week. We've got some juicy ones this week. I know, like, normally we're like, oh, it's going to be a big week, but, like, we actually have some pretty significant achievements across the board this week. It's pretty impressive. So, I guess we'll start it off with miscellaneous, which, like, feels kind of like a cop-out, but we do have, we don't have any, three-peats. What are they called?
Trifectas?
When you get, almost. What's the basketball term?
Three-pointer?
Triple-double. No triple-doubles this week. But we do have a few double-doubles, I think.
Oh.
So, this week in the miscellaneous category, kicking things off in the Quest Cape domain, we have Torin, who submitted his Quest Cape to Achievement of the Week while we were doing Achievement of the Week 2 weeks ago.
Oh, hell yeah.
And didn't make it in because we didn't see it because we were doing this segment. So kicking us off this week, Torin with his Quest Cape, Shifty Sniper, apparently Ghost, Iron Coots, Voru, Quest Cape good. Butter 6000, who we were actually in a meeting when we talked about. You saw you get your Quest Cape live because we were figuring out the new clan system thing. Fumble Swing, my boy Nate Dog, Clout 9, whose name in the clan is 99 Cum, which what a name. And Drew P Tits. you guys got some
guys
names. Let me tell you.
On fire with the name.
You guys got some names. It is Drew P. Tits. That is. You guys got your quest capes. So the creativity of your names aside, congratulations. You've beat the story of the game so far. Continuing with the miscellaneous category, we have 3 diary capes in the span of 2 weeks. We have Zero Fox, we have Toaster Bath, and we have 2KJ, who all obtained their diary capes this week. Moving on to combat this week. Combat is a big one for these last couple of weeks. A lot of people have done a lot of really cool shit. But skilling, people have done a little bit more, so we're saving that one for last. Combat this week, we only have 3 fire capes in the last 2 weeks. So unless I miscounted, 6 Rizzy, P5HAT, Fat. We've been over this before, brother. I don't know how to pronounce your name. And Jumungo? I don't know. All got their first fire capes this week. Only 3 people. Followed up by a staggeringly low 1 Zulrah with Gilligan. Gilligan got his first Zulrah KC, or their first Zulrah KC. This is not to downplay the gravity of these achievements, folks. They're good, they're fantastic stepping stones. They're things you have not yet completed before. Fire Cape is going to be your best in slot for a long time. And Jad is a stressful boss. Zulrah makes me want to break my keyboard. Or at least it did when I first started learning it. You guys mastered it. Good job. Got your first KC. No first gauntlets this week, but we are getting into some kits now.
Ooh.
We don't have a lot of firsts. We have a lot of kits and a lot of CA completions.
Ooh.
So Mima, Arionyx, and Vader Boy all got their Missouri crafting kit this week. I think 2 of them did it in a duo, and I think Arionyx did it in a solo because he added me and said that he didn't need a carry, where I did. Shout out to Fear for carrying me through my Missouri crafting kit. Getting into the CAs, we have quite a few combat achievements this week. Apparently, Ghost completed his easy combat achievements. Michael, the man himself, completed easy and medium combat achievements. I apparently have also gotten a message from Mima in the recording booth chat that his Missouri kit was solo.
I think we need to look at the receipts on that
either
one.
way, you need to look at the receipts.
Mima. Fear was definitely there.
Continue. I was gonna say I've raided with Mima before. Fear was there. Mosbro also completed his easy and medium combat achievements within these last 2 weeks. Arionyx completed the medium tier of the combat achievements, getting shouted out twice in the same segment.
Wow.
Jay Patness, who we will hear more from later, completed his medium combat achievements just now, mind you, like a couple minutes ago. Kyle, the man, so close, has completed his hard combat achievements, as has the Mig. Both completed their hard combat achievements. Hopefully you guys enjoy your KBD endowed. What are they called? Dragonheart crossbows. That's what they are. That's the hard combat diary perk. And the unlimited God Wars teleport. It's also super pog. And finally, rounding out the combat achievements, we have Mr. Darkside 76 with his elite combat achievements done. Another Jad Helmer graces our presence. But there's one more achievement this week. You know there can only be one thing that we save for the very end of the combat section of the achievement of the week. This week, I got to watch it happen live. And I got to celebrate right along with her. Vire Lady Gay, Vire Lady M, however you know her in the CC, we just call her M, finally achieved her Infernal Cape. It was massive. 32 attempts over the span of 3.5 years, which, you know, nothing like a 4-month break in between attempts. 1 and done. She did an attempt in August. She died post healers. She came back in December and just said, whatever, I'm going to get the cape. Beautiful healer tag. Beat the living shit out of the healers as well. Much better than I did on healers. That's for sure. But no, she has her Infernal Cape. So congratulations to you, Em. It's not an achievement, but it is worth noting because it is pretty neat. She also got a 1KC Nibbler pet, which just added to the hype. So good stuff. Welcome to the ranks of the Infernal Capers. Now we can.
You guys cannot
Now
start
anytime
a club.
someone-
That's way too clicky.
We can.
No clubs.
You know what that
no
is?
clubs allowed.
You know what that is? You know what that
What?
is? People listening to me right now, you know what that is? That's fire caper talk right there. I'm kidding. That's so mean. I'm kidding. That is not.
Are my headphones working? Did I hear that correctly? Can I get a?
That is, I absolutely
sound
do
check?
not mean that. There is absolutely, there's absolutely nothing wrong with change Oxie's name back to Toxie
Yep.
in the thing. Yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with just having a fire cape. Lord knows it took me way longer than everyone else, by the way. All my friends who are doing it are like, yeah, I got it in 30 attempts. I got it in 27 attempts. I 112. So shitters, even a shitter like myself can get an Infernal Cape. It's possible. Moving on from combat into the skilling category, which we had a big combat category. Skilling is the thickest of them all this week. All the C's. We're going to rapid fire these 99s because we got shitloads of them. More than we had last time, and we had a 3-week break last time. So, getting right into it. Ice 9 Chills with 99 cooking. Green Rancor, not Ranger, Ranker. New man to the Discord.
I think it's
He's new.
Ranger,
Just
but it's just spelled with a Q.
I mean, yes, but it's spelled with a Q, you know? He's a nice guy. He got 99 prayer, range, and magic within these last 2 weeks. Sparry, the Minecraft server host, the man himself, 99 attack and 99 defense. Everyone's favorite quiz master and unhinged co-host Too Much Dad got 99 Slayer at Kraken. No pet though. Sad. iSteam got 99 Herblore accidentally. I'm pretty
It
sure.
was. I remember I was in the CC. He's like, "Hey guys, Herblore party in 5 minutes. World 514." We're like, "Sweet, be there." 30 seconds later, iSteam got 99 Herblore. He's like, "Oops." It was great. It was great. I've never done
Killing
that
it.
before.
No, yeah, never. Definitely not at Volcano. That would never happen. It's definitely not to
Who would do
Michael.
that?
Taco Manian achieved 99 strength. BCL and Cletus Grizz, who was accidentally booted from the clan. It was our mistake. Cletus, please come back if you're not already back. They got 99 Slayer on the same tick last week. They got it together, which is cool as heck. Xerxes got 99 crafting. Vatterboy, with his second category, the double-double this week, got 99 defense. Our boy Hyla got 99 agility and still has not seen a Ring of Endurance, unfortunately. Trillo got 99 hit points and 99 strength. Spite Leech got 99 range. Habitat got 99 construction. Danny, or Mamaril, depending on how you see him in-game, achieved 99 hit points. Fortimus was playing Minecraft by getting 99 mining and 99 crafting this week, in addition to 99 hit points, which he also got while we were
Hell
recording.
yeah.
Buzz with all the Z's from Patreon, SS, achieved 99 hit points. Combobulation received 99 farming. Jordy achieved 99 crafting, as well as 2k total level. Smoothie achieved 99 wood cutting. Lalot, I think I'm saying that correctly, achieved 99 Slayer. Flatjack78 achieved 99 hit points and 99 strength. Lots of 99s this week, and we're not even done. We've got some snazzy total levels to shout out as well. Cloud Kicker, in addition to Jordy, hit 2k total. 2k total. Welcome to a new world that you are going to be in for a long time.
No more peasant worlds. No more
Moonstonks.
peasant worlds.
Oh yeah, now who's the elitist? See, no more peasant worlds. These max capers, am I right? Moonstonks hit 2100 total level, which I'm at 2130 right now. It's a slog. It's going to be forever to get to 2.2k total. But two people have done it. Planker and Gumby have both achieved 2.2k total this week. Now, normally in the skilling category, if somebody achieves 2277, we save it for the very end. But unfortunately, One person has not achieved 2277 these last 2 weeks. 4 people have gotten a max cape since our last episode. Kicking it off with PP Hayes, who's been around for quite some time, maxed on the down low. Nobody knew about it. Man took the photo and he's like, it's finally done. We're like, is that a max cape? What? When did that happen? He maxed. Recycle, please. One of our clan's high level. Is he an Iron Man? I'm pretty sure.
Maxed Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, now he's a maxed Iron Man because he got 99. He had 6 99s in one party for his max cape. Jay Patness, who was at our Nightmare event, didn't say too much, but was still hanging out in VC and like killing Nightmare with us. Done a shitload of Nightmare, by the way. He maxed again out of the blue. It's like we right click, looked him up at the thing to see like, oh, he's showing up. Is he like a learner or whatever? In addition to having a bunch of Nightmare kills, we're like, this guy's 2276 or whatever total level he was. Like, is what 90 like max when? Max now apparently. And finally, much to his chagrin, I'm sure, the Tizkal himself, 2 fast kills. Our dear friend Jesse, who has been with us since the very beginning, not Xpwaste, since the Discord was essentially formed to what it is today. Its initial standings, a 24-hour stream. The one who has offered to help so many people do low-level content, get their quest capes and things like that, is maxing in like 6 hours. But when this episode comes out, he will have maxed, and there's a non-zero chance he doesn't post a picture of it in levels and achievements. So we're going to shout him out anyway, preemptively, because we know it's coming. So congratulations to you, Jesse, the PVMer who had 66 rune crafting and 37 inferno kills, now has a max cape. Awesome to see. Very proud of you, my friend. And that wraps up achievement of the week, except it doesn't, because remember those stats Michael and I talked about? Well, now it's time that we reveal them. It's not like it's a big secret chat. It's public knowledge. You guys can look at it. But we have shouted out a lot of things this week. We have a lot of like specific things we'd like to shout out as achievements of the week. Some things are, some things aren't, just for the sake of like, filling time. Somebody posted a golden tench as an achievement in achievement of the week. That's awesome. You probably hunted for that for a long time. That's hyper specific. I think it was the Lissy. So ironically, you did make achievement of the week, even though normally you weren't supposed to. But we took a poll. We took an informal survey with like emotes that people have been kind of answering for the last like week and a half or so. And we've got some numbers for you. So we had 47 people achieve their first set of Barrows gloves. Now, mind you, for reference, this is the first time you do something. So Michael and I have gotten 99s this year, but they're not our first 99s. So we're not included in that. These are the first time people have done something. The first thing, right? So this year, 47 people got their first pair of Barrows gloves. 42 people got their first quest capes. So pretty high retention rate from Barrows gloves to quest capes, right? A little bit less, but 8 people have achieved their first diary cape this year, which is weird. It feels like more, but diary cape is, it's kind of a big thing. It's a lot more than a quest. I'm not trying to like gatekeep the diary cape. Yeah. I mean, like compared to the quest cape, it's significantly more difficult. With the skill requirement and the time requirement.
It's pretty big. Like
I got my quest cape in July of 2020. I got my diary cape in like August of 2022.
It's like, you're nearly 2K total, if not almost 21 or 2200. So it's a big achievement. I'd like to shout out at least the ones that are like 10 or less. I'd like to just shout out each name individually. With the diary capes, we got Fortimus, Hyla, Recycle Pleased, 2277, Dave Addiction, Zero Fox, Oxie, our man Oxie, and Airy Harry. All of them with the diary cape this year. So lovely.
And I feel like that is not even completely accurate because I don't think any of the names we just listed off for Achievement of the Week checked off that little box. So again, this is an informal poll for a reason. We're just running some general numbers. We had 12 people achieve their first music cape this year. Pretty impressive. I remember my first music cape. was the curtain closes, and I didn't want to spectate. I refused to spectate, and I had to
stubborn.
complete my first Theater
But I
of
love
Blood. It really was stubborn
Yeah.
as shit, too. It was so stupid.
But you did it.
But that's why the music cape is so cool, because, like, you know, I wore it for so long before I got the Infernal Cape, because, like, it took work to get that music cape, and I was going to
Yeah.
show that bitch
And
off, right? Because
that was before entry mode, right?
yeah, that was before entry mode as well. So we completed a normal Theater of Blood, and we got to the final room. I got my music cape. I think that's the first thing I said when we got our first KC. I said, "That's a music cape, boys. We've finally done it." I was really excited about that. 28 people achieved their first 99 this year. Now, mind you, this is specifically first 99. We had like 15 people in that last segment.
Just get
right?
a 99. Yeah.
Just get a 99. I don't entirely know if this one is accurate because of how many 99s we've had since we've started doing Achievement of the Week. So I feel like of all the ones that aren't going to be up to date, this is the one that is not going to be up to date. I think there's probably going to be the biggest spread between 99 and Fire Cape. I think would be the first two, right? So that is the first 28 people, but probably more, got their first 99. 5 people achieved their max cape, which we also know to be false. Because more people have gotten that. Reactions are not loaded. They are loading on my end.
Yeah.
Just
so we have
let's see
flashcards, Recycle Please, Gecko, me, and Swain RS. But that's not it. Like you said, Jesse maxed this year. And then
J Patness, Recycle Please.
Yeah, there's more than 5, but 5 people reacted and let us know that they achieved max this year. Huge.
Yeah, and then also PP Haze. I knew there was another P name, I just couldn't think of what it was. But yeah, more than 5 people max. Quite a few have achieved a max cape this year. And again, the numbers aren't totally accurate, right? But 38 people, according to our survey, got their first Fire Cape this year, which again feels like it should be more, but like. It's cool, like this kind of stuff. Obviously, like if you listen to Achievement of the Week and then compare it to the stories that Michael and I tell, specifically the stories that I tell, right? I'm the one who thought of Achievement of the Week. I said, let's bring it on the show, it'll be fun. Michael was all for it. The reason I shout some of the stuff out is because it was really hard for me to do.
Yeah.
Or it was really hard for Michael to do. And it means a lot, you know, from developing this thing over the last couple of months or whatever with Michael. There are things that are important to us that are like, this was a monumental step in my account, right? And that's why we shout them out. First Fire Cape being one of the biggest, right? Because don't get me wrong, I've done a lot more impressive things than kill Jad at this point. I have an Inferno Jad following me around. Like I'm pretty good at Jad these days. But the first time I did it, oh my god,
it's big. Like
that was big. It was the
account was in a totally different spot to where you are now. Like you just did Jad 2 essentially, and looking back, it's like there's such a wide spread of skill between when you're a baby and you're doing Jad. That feels like the Inferno. Like those prayer switches.
It really does.
Out.
It is really. It's like the Finding Nemo meme, you know. Like, oh my god, I heard he took on Jad. I heard he took on 3 kind of thing, you know, when you finally get to that point. But yeah, speaking of capes from the Tazar area, at least 7 people have achieved their Infernal Cape this year, their first Infernal Cape. So the 3 people we have who reacted to the post, right? For the Infernal Cape, we have, I want to say, it's still taking forever to load, 2277, just as I thought, the other person who did it, Fear Garden, and myself. But we also, throughout, because we don't have a lot of Infernal Capes, so they're more, for me, I remember them more. Dazman got his first Infernal Cape. Discreetly, the one who we shouted out the week I got mine, got his first Infernal Cape. The Lord Jake got his first Infernal Cape. And M got her first Infernal Cape. That's not even considering the people who still might get it between now and January and December 31st.
Jamie might.
This...
Mighty, he's not a part of the Xpwaste community, but he's been on the show.
You remember him from the interview. There are people who are really close. You know, we're not gonna jinx them, not gonna put that pressure on them, but it's possible. It's coming for a lot of people. this is objectively the most difficult, like single bit of content for achievement of the week. That's why we always save it for the end, just as the max cape is the most difficult for skilling. So kudos to us for becoming part of the Infernal Club. 39 people killed Zulrah for the first time, and 33 people completed the Gauntlet for the first time. Whether it be the regular Gauntlet or the Corrupted Gauntlet, again, I really wish these numbers were more accurate. Who knows? 36 people completed any tier of the Combat Diaries for the first time. So, not getting your diary rewards back, but the first time you completed it. I got my Elite Diary this year, so that was the first one. I guess it was a novel one that I did this year, because I think I did Easy and Medium last year. I don't remember. Who knows? And frankly, who cares, right? I think I ended up through Hard last year, too. Good lord. 16 people have achieved some sort of Tombs of a Masket kit, be it the Menophyte Ornament Die or whatever it's called, the Missouri Crafting Kit, or the Cursed Phalanx. Really shows it flexes your skill set at that point with some of these kits. So super cool to look at as well. And 29 people achieved their first pet in 2022. Which again, not an achievement, but still really cool to get your first pet.
Pets
because
are insanely hype. Like everybody wants
it really
one.
is, especially if it's spooned too. Like if you get I remember my first pet, it was a Phoenix at Wintertod. I had like, God, I want to say like 62 fire making, and it was like my 32nd KC.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember being so excited because when I popped the crate open, I got a Pyromancer top, and I was like shitting a brick because it was the first like Wintertod unique I had seen, which at the time was one of like the first Wintertod uniques I had ever seen. I was so excited that I got the Pyromancer top. I'm like, let's go! That's a huge drop. Let's go. I played another game of Wintertod. I just kept playing, and eventually I had to bank and go back to the Grand Exchange. And I was running to whatever, and there was a pet following in my direction, and I right-clicked it. Because, you know, you right-click pets. I had recently been on RS3, where you can right-click other people's pets and see what they are. So I right-clicked this Phoenix that was running towards the Grand Exchange as well, and it said, talk to, pick up Phoenix. I'm like, that's weird. You're not allowed to right-click other people's pets. I'm like, that's a new addition. So I click right-click talk to, and I'm like, is this mine? And I didn't even. So the chat box popped up that it doesn't tell you get the Phoenix in the reward crate.
Yeah.
So it shows it in the chat box, but I didn't even pay attention because like public chat. This is how long ago this was. Public chat was on at Wintertod.
Wow, Oxie.
I had like one friend who played RuneScape, and I messaged them so excited. This is before I like really knew Michael or anybody. I was so excited when I got my first pet. I was like, honest to God, shit and bricks is the best way I could describe it. It was like February of 2020, before COVID. That's how long ago it was. And I genuinely didn't even realize that I got a pet because the Pyromancer top was so exciting. I like fell out of my seat when I was like, oh yeah, this is mine. This is super cool. So yeah, that's a lot of people who've done a lot of things. It's obviously, of course, not accurate. Which means it's good because there are more.
Yeah. There's not
the numbers
less.
aren't accurate because not everyone reactive, and they're like, that's okay because holy shit, you guys have done a lot. I am so glad we have added Achievement of the Week as a piece of content that we do because it gives community members a chance to like be recognized for something, and that's kick-ass. I love that.
If you guys want to go see the post for yourself and potentially react further, we're not going to update you guys or anything, but if you did want to add your reaction to the post, head over to our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL, and react with the Xpwaster role, and then you'll have access to the Xpwaste chat, and then you go to the pinned comments.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty long journey to get there, but it's the most recent pinned comment from Oxie. So thank you guys. It always warms my heart to see firsts. I'm a big proponent of like nostalgia and legacy and being the first, having the first thing done on your account, the first fire cape you ever get, the first any of these. incredibly cool to see. And there's people who have reacted to multiple. So it was the first time they did multiple things. That's hype.
Mm-hmm. It's a very special time in your account when you're just racking up firsts. And we've said it before, and this is the unfortunate part about this kind of first. You're never gonna get that feeling again for a lot of pieces of content. Like, part of the reason why I have felt so motivated to play, ironically, and part of the reason why I have felt like so positive about RuneScape in general is because I finally got that first feeling.
Oh,
I finally got it back. I haven't had it in so goddamn long. And I finally was able to experience it again. And it's not to say that the end game is hopeless, because there's never any firsts. There are new firsts, they're just different, right? And there are more space in between them. I got my fire cape and my quest cape in the same week, I'm pretty sure. Wow. I got my diary cape and my infernal cape 6 months apart, 2 years later. Like, you know, it takes is a lot more time and a lot more investment for some of these firsts. But it is a very special time in the account. So proud of each and every one of you who achieved something for the first time this year. Whether it's a small total level, or whether it's your first 99, or whether it's an infernal max cape, it doesn't matter. First is a first, and we love it. So
that's great.
I say we end this. We end it as it started, from ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Michael, to end 2022. Do you have a fun question for us?
I do indeed. This is actually
hell yeah.
Not ideal, but this is a fun question that I came up with. Like 10 days ago now. This was a long time ago. This was a day before the summit. I had new skill on the brain because I'm positive it's a new skill. So, Oxie. Fun question is, you have to remove one skill and add in a new skill. But the caveat, here's the catch. The new skill adopts the XP rate of the old skill you removed divided by 2. So you cut that XP rate in half, and that's what you apply to the new skill.
Like the max XP rate.
As an example, you take out construction, and whatever skill you add, max efficiency is 450 to 500k an hour.
Okay.
So this kind of, it's hard, right? So you have to take out a beloved skill, but you don't want it to be one that's too OP that you just make this new skill something totally easy, but you also don't want to make it like, oh, nah, you took out agility. Max efficiency is like 100k an hour. Bam, 50k an hour at max efficiency on this new skill. So what do you got? You've got the look in your eye like you got something.
I'm looking at these skills, and I know that a lot of them have really fast tick manipulation methods.
Yeah.
Even like wood cutting, you can get a lot. Fishing, you can 2-tick swordfish. Rune crafting, you can run lavas.
But you're removing
and
you're removing the skill.
Oh, I know.
With everything,
honey.
Okay, I just didn't know if that
I'm not thinking of the skill. I'm thinking of the XP.
I know you're thinking of the XP, but you have to think about
thinking of the XP.
The fact that you're removing it in all associated content. You take away rune crafting, does that take away runes? Is there a give and take here? So I just want you to be mindful of the fact that you may screw over the game potentially.
I really don't think.
Okay, go ahead. What do you got?
It's gonna be mega sadistic.
Okay.
So bad. As we have said, hail to the king. The king is dead. Long live the king of the slowest skill in this game. I am removing mining as my first decree as Mega J mod. I am removing mining, and I am adding exploration.
Oh.
This means ores are no longer in the game. Motherlode Mine and its bitchin' track, the music track, doesn't exist. There's no ores, there's no sulfur, there's no salt, there's no gem mining. Gems still exist as drops, but there is no like topaz and shit. There's no pure essence, but pure essence itself is a drop as well. But ores are completely removed from the game. as are pickaxes and are notably cosmetic items, just like the wieldable hammer or like a clue scroll reward. Pickaxes serve no purpose other than to look like an old-timey miner.
Yeah.
You know? Shooting stars no longer exist, right? But through exploration, some of this content comes back. Exploration caps out. Actually, let me do myself a favor. Let's get it right. OSRS mining. Mining guide. Pay to play mining training. The fastest experience at 45 to 99. 3T 4G. At 99 mining with a mining cape, it is possible to gain up to 130,000 experience per hour without tick manipulation.
Okay. Wow.
Players can expect no. Without tick manipulation, players can expect 63,000 at best at 99 with a mining cape. If we scroll up to other methods here in the mining training and we look at something like Motherlode Mine from 30 to 99, experience rates scale depending on mining level. When using a dragon pickaxe, players can gain up to 30k at 70, 42k at 85, and 53k at 99. So on average, at the absolute max, we're looking at 65k an hour with ball sweating 3-tick 4 granite efforts, right? 65k an hour is your max XP rate. But through exploration, you find additional resources that are used through smithing, that are used through crafting, fletching, prayer, construction, that are ridiculously OP.
Okay.
If you find a blessed shard from an old tomb because you have level 75 exploration, that takes forever to get to, by the way, because 30k an hour at level 70 is the average. You're talking a 10k an hour AFK progression, cutting that in half to a realistic time frame. 10k an hour getting to 1,000,000 XP for 73 and then some for 75. Just think about how long that takes. You find this holy shard because you explored at level 75, you finally unlock like ancient temples you can explore. You find this holy shard, prayer points now double their time. So, or effectively, prayers reduce the amount of prayer points you have by half. Okay. So if with 92 prayer right now, if I put piety on, I have 2 minutes and 45 seconds of prayer at 92 prayer with piety on. That is like 5 straight minutes of camping piety.
That's baller.
5 or 6 minutes of camping piety because I train this slow ass skill.
10 minutes with no prayer gear of protect from melee. No prayer gear.
90, let's say you get 95. What content is unlocked in the 90s? Redwood logs. Do you thieve Tazar's level 90? Oh, look at that. Jake getting shouted out on the podcast for the Rift Guardian that he just got. LFG. Congratulations.
10 million XP by the way.
Yeah, for real. Look at what you get in the 90s. You get Anti-Venom Plus, Divine Super Combat Potion. In cooking in the 90s, you get Manta Rays, right? The biggest 90 unlock is Hydra, which is the best money, great XP, but takes forever, right? Maybe at 95 exploration, you unlock, I don't know, you unlock Spirits of the Elysian, and your character permanently has a 30% damage reduction effect at 95 if you get this 1 and 2k drop from exploration. Whether you're exploring like an ethereal city, because Corp is technically an ethereal being, whatever RS3 story, whatever. You explore this ghostly ethereal city that's maybe in a different dimension, who knows, with 95 exploration. You get, the Spirits of the Elysian piece or whatever, 30% damage reduction across the board. That means without prayer, you can no longer be one-banged by things. Jad's max hit, right? If you don't do a fire cape, and you have 99 exploration, you get this Elysian piece. Jad's max hit becomes like 60. What is 92 divided? Jesus Christ. It wouldn't be XP waste if we didn't do math. 92 times 0.3. 92 minus 27.6. Jad's max hits a 65 or a 64. Jad. Max hit of a 64.
It's a 64. Oh, wow.
His max hits a 92
Oh, wow.
right now off prayer. Normal Jad. Inferno Jad's like 150 or 106 something. I don't know. But like that 30% damage reduction is huge when you get into higher level content.
Wow.
That's the green ball at Verzik doing less damage, but like it is slow as shit to train. Max 65k an hour if you are sweating your ass off, but on average 30k an hour across the board. On average 30k at 99, you're getting 30k an hour. So really slow, but insane rewards.
Right. That's I think exploration would be a cool skill. I think that's kind of what sailing, the vibe that sailing is giving, is like this. People want sailing, but what they really want is just an exploration skill. It's masked in the sense that like, oh, we're learning how to sail.
We want to experience something new again.
We're learning how to sail, but that's not it, because if you really break it down, sailing is a complex task. You have different I don't know the terms, forgive me, but there's different things. You're pulling different ropes. You're putting down different sails, masts. You're putting up a mast. You're moving. You're turning the wheel. Like that's not what people want. People
port and starboard or whatever.
Want the ability to sail around the game and explore. They want exploration. They don't want sailing. So I commend you on that one. Is it my turn? Because I have a dumb one.
It is your turn. Oh wow, let's hear it. Let's end the year on the dumbest way possible, baby. Just like we drew it up.
I think along the lines of you with your removing mining, I would also like to remove one of the top 3 worst skills in the game. That being agility. No longer do we have shortcuts. No longer do we have, run energy drain.
Bro, and I thought I was the monster. What? Oh my god.
But replacing this god-awful skill is the skill called swimming. All those bodies of water that are inaccessible to you as a player? Well, now, at level 1, you have access to really slow XP, like maybe 2k an hour, because I don't know what Gnome's course is.
Jesus Christ, that's so bad.
At level 40...
That's pretty good.
At level 40, doing Canifis, I think it's 20k an hour. At level 40... you have access to 10k an hour pawns that now scales up to 50k an hour at level 99. But I think with this skill, it could be something along the lines of, anywhere that you would have crossed a river as a shortcut, now you just swim across and you have access to new lands. There's access to new different ways to getting around the game. If you want to swim, why would you want to? If you want to swim from the mainland over to Zaya, you have the option for it. Now, would this entail some sort of danger aspect? Maybe there's sharks in the water. Maybe there's whirlpools you have to swim around. Maybe you take along new weaponry and defend yourself. I don't know. But it could come with a myriad of other things attached to other skills. You could have a way to craft. You could have a way to craft things like wetsuits and swimming gear that could help you swim faster and farther. You can improve your times. You could, I don't know. This is off the dome.
I'm now picturing a series of 5 increasingly more difficult and intense Olympic swimming pools, called the Shallow Sepulcher. And you just have to swim at just Mach speed on like floor 5. Instead of fire bolts, there's like torrent waves. Instead of like the shock waves, there's like crocodiles and shit that come at you have to dodge. 45k an hour if you only loot the grand lifeguard chair at the very end on the 5th floor. 45k an hour, but you're just
zooming,
cooking it in the water.
That's so
you're
toxic.
zooming.
45k an hour is like
so bad.
it's like 20.
God, we're menaces. We don't deserve to do this. We really shouldn't be in charge of a
it's
new
like
skill.
30 hours just from 98 to 99 of just swimming. It's terrible.
But you're swimming fast.
Yeah, so agility is no more. Swimming is the new agility. I love the shallow poker. That is amazing. Shallow
poker. Jesus Christ.
Well, thank you so much, Michael, for asking that question. If you guys want to submit a fun question to the show, you can do so by joining the Patreon and accessing our fun questions chat. That's a great place to put it. It's all in one place. You can email us. You can DM it to us on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Or you can send a postcard with your written fun question on the back, and it'll make it on the wall of postcards. I have a wall of postcards. Oxie might have a wall of postcards that one day he puts up.
I have a corkboard that I have not put up yet because I don't know where to put it, and I also keep forgetting. But I have a plethora of postcards here that I do need to put up, as well as Michael's name tag from the meetup. That will also go on the board. I've got Ray's name tag. No, not Ray. Technically, it's my name tag, but it says Ray on the back of my wallet. It's the one I wore at the meetup.
Love it.
So yeah,
yes.
I will get it hung up. It'll probably be along this wall here.
Very nice.
Realistically, so you won't be able to see him as well, but like the energy sword and swampletics are on the way there.
So yeah, if you want to send us a postcard, if you want it to go specifically to Oxie, send it to the PO box and I'll redirect it. We'll get you.
Or DM me and you can.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys.
But I ain't putting that shit out there. Is this it? Have we concluded?
Yeah, this is it.
Michael,
longest episode in history.
This may very well be our swan song of 2022 because currently the recording track sits at 3 hours and 59. 3 hours and 30 minutes exactly since I waited for that so blissfully. This could be the longest episode to date. Could be. Not guaranteed, but very well could be. I am very humbled and honored that you guys have been so kick-ass for this entire year. Michael, I'm proud of us for achieving all that we have in real life, in the show, and in game. Next week, we're coming at you. It's not done.
2 weeks from now.
When we say swan song, we don't mean... Yeah, 2 weeks from now. When we say swan song, we don't mean this is the last episode ever. We're I don't want to, get anyone too excited, but like we're almost halfway to 99 podcasting. So we can't just like stop,
right.
You see. Gotta get
almost
that
halfway
podcasting
there.
skill cape. Almost halfway there.
Mima in the recording booth chat
so
says
there
keep
will
going.
They're unsubbing if not 4 hours. Yeah, I don't think so. We obviously have more episodes planned. We have more content in addition to podcasting that Michael and I have been working on. We have merch designs that we have been talking about, which I know we've said a million times. Hopefully this, we get an artist that works out. We can make something happen. T-shirts are coming out to you guys in 2023. And most importantly, next week or next 2 weeks, we record on January 1st, Michael and I, so we're going to be fresh in it.
2023, baby.
We're talking about goals for 2023. So come prepared with a notebook and get some goals ready for next year because we're going to be talking all about it because we have both overcome our greatest challenges in this game to date. And now it's time to find some new greatest challenges.
Time to one-up ourselves.
So 2023, exactly. It's time to one-up ourselves in every sense of the word. So here's to a Verzik helmet and an Infernal cape for Michael. Here's to a Max cape for me. Here's to a million streams across all our platforms for Xpwaste. Folks, it has been a fantastic year with each and every one of you. So Michael, do you have any final thoughts for us?
In regards to the goals episode, if you haven't thought of your goals or you're struggling, I know Jake said in the recording booth chat that he's having a hard time with the goals. Come prepared to set some with us on January 5th. I think that's the date. The first Thursday of the year. We look forward to hearing your guys' goals for the year. Have a happy holiday, everyone. Whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope you spend some time with family, you drink some hot cocoa, and you close out 2022 with hope for 2023.
Aye. Well, folks, for the last time this year, it has been an honor podcasting for you, and we will see you guys next year. Bye.
Bye.